All right, all right. Welcome home, gamers. While that ad's running, we'll do our intro. Hope you guys have been having a good one. It is 3:51 a.m. Yes, it is an extremely early start. Why? Just cuz. But yeah, I think we're gonna be starting off a little bit different this time. This time we'll be starting off with a little just chatting session, a little React Andes. Pokemon's been getting some crazy news lately. It's like a new game coming, a new there's so much. We're just gonna watch some videos on it. But yeah, that'll be today's segment. Is we're gonna be doing some reacties to that. I think I got like 3 videos slotted up. One of them's like a 20-minute video, so that one will be the bulk of it. And then there's like a couple cute, weird looking Pokemon videos I saw too. I kind of wanted to check them out. Figured we'd check it out with the reacties. But besides that, probably play some more League of Legends with Loken after. Um, kind of sitting pretty for a minute. There isn't a game out at the moment that I'm kind of like gushing to play. Reaper looked super fun. Shout out to the homie Absolutely Plasmatic and Novus, both of them. They're playing that game and that looks really fucking fun. So that might be on the list of things to play. Of course, Minecraft is there too, but Logan and I both kind of agreed we're not really in a grindy mood right now. Needed some like action. So, I mean, League kind of fits the bill, unfortunately. So we'll probably play some of that in a bit, but who knows? We'll keep it open. I think we'll switch right on over now, and let's do some reacties. Let's check out some stuff. This video I'm very interested in. So, little backstory, yeah. I've been gaming for like 25 years, guys. Like 25 fucking years. It's been a long fucking time. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I about came out the womb fucking gaming. I'm 28 years old, dude. I got a fucking Game Boy Color. Was my first system. Like, I've been gaming like pretty much all my life. Pokemon was the first one that I started with. And oh my god, I've been on that ride ever since. I played pretty much all of the Pokemons. Pretty much. There might have been a couple I mixed. Like, I think Black and White and maybe X and Y. I kind of didn't really play. But, I mean, I did Sword and Shield. I did Scarlet and Violet. I played fucking blue, red, yellow, all the way up until about like Pokemon X and Y or Pokemon Black and White, one of those two. I can't quite remember. But yeah, I played them all. I never really got into the competitive space though. I fucked around a little bit on Pokemon Showdown when I was in college. I did a lot of that and climbed the ladder a little bit, so I kind of have that as like my only competitive Pokemon experience, and it's pretty much just like a comp simulator, so it's not even real comp. But I don't know. There's something new coming out for Pokemon called Pokemon Champions. I like watching Wolfie a lot. He's a multi-world champion for VGC comp. VGC comp seems interesting. I'm just not too sure. I have to get into it because even when I did comp on Pokemon Showdown, it was just single battles, and VGC seems to revolve around double battles and level 50 Pokemon instead of level 100. So it's just a different shift in mechanics I have to start to understand. But Wolfie does a really good job of kind of breaking all that down for me usually, so I like watching his stuff. But I wanted to see his reaction on the new Pokemon Champions. Seems to be a new shake for comp. Let's go into
it. Pokemon Company just announced that they are working on a game that is still in development that I think is going to change the way that Pokemon operates forever. Now, when I say that it'll change Pokemon forever, you're probably thinking that I'm only talking about competitive Pokemon. But actually, I think that this game is going to forever change not only competitive Pokemon, but the single player experience as well.
Really?
Every year on Pokemon Day, there is some kind of broadcast normally announcing upcoming titles and things that the Pokemon Company is working on. This year is the 29th anniversary, and many people were
Pokemon and I are about the same age.
Because there's basically been almost no news, not only about Generation 10, but also about the upcoming game Pokemon Legends ZA. Going into the broadcast, myself and I would guess most of the fandom were expecting that these two games would be the focal point. However, what we were not expecting was the release of a new title called Pokemon Champions.
Yes.
This title was frankly completely unexpected, which is funny especially because it could end up being one of the most impactful Pokemon titles of all time. So what is Pokemon Champions? Well, we don't know that much about it, but we have a good general idea. Effectively, as best that I can tell, this is a modern Pokemon battle simulator. One of the first questions that you might have is like, why does a battle simulator matter? Like maybe you're somebody who just plays the single player campaign and you're like, yeah, I mean, I don't really care about battling, so like it doesn't matter to me. And you're about to click off this video. But you shouldn't, because it actually does matter to you. Pokemon Champions appears to be a game entirely focused around battling. This isn't technically like a brand new idea from Pokemon, given that we did have like Battle Revolution and Pokemon Stadium many years ago, but it is certainly a new idea, at least in modern times. That being said, I think that Pokemon Champions is going to be very, very different. It's also new and exciting because it's doing something that has never been possible before, which is allowing players to battle on their phones as well as on their Switches.
Yeah, that's
as far as I can tell, there seems to be
crazy.
cross-compatibility.
That is fucking
but again,
crazy.
it's
The
still
mobile
pretty early.
market's gonna be so
I would
big
bet that
on
there's
this.
cross-compatibility though. Okay, but if you don't care about Pokemon battles, then again, why does this matter? I think in order to answer this, we should think about why would Game Freak want to do this in the first place? Obviously, I don't work at Game Freak, and so I don't have like access to their, official reasoning or whatever, but I have given this a fair bit of thought, and there's some things that I realized after thinking about it more that didn't stand out to me as obvious at first. Right now, the way that Pokemon games are set up, the single player experience and the competitive player experience are closely tied together. Whenever they introduce a new mechanic such as Terrestrialization, Dynamax, Z-moves, Mega Evolution, these mechanics need to be fun for the single player, but they also have to be balanced around the competitive players. This balance is especially important because after a game's initial release window, after the initial hype has kind of died down, most of the marketing the game gets will be from some sort of competitive battles, often through Pokemon's own World Championships and the other events in the circuit. So if a game is balanced really badly, that ends up actually making the Pokemon Company look bad.
What
and
up,
lazy, and they don't want that.
Grumpus?
But as I'm sure many of
What
you
you up to,
know,
Papa Grumps?
most people who play through the game don't care at all about the competitive experience. So the game is basically forced to be optimized around something that only a very, very small percentage of players who actually play it will, experience. Beyond just balancing issues though, the competitive battles and the single player experience being, tied together in the
Minecraft
same
grinding.
game actually really limits what you can do with the single player experience.
Getting
For
them
example,
diamonds.
I played through Legends Arceus when it first released, and I had a great time with that game. I really enjoyed that you could catch Pokemon like outside of battle.
We're checking
I thought
out some
that was really
Pokemon
neat.
stuff right
And
now.
much
I'm
the other
super
mechanical
interested in the
changes
new
they liked as
Pokemon
well.
news.
Didn't love strong and agile style. I didn't love everything, but in many ways, it felt much more like a modern video game than kind of an updated Pokemon game. However, as you may recall, that game doesn't have player versus player battles because the battle system was optimized around making the single player gameplay fun to experience rather than being something that would actually work if you were to play against your friends. So imagine Game Freak had found a new style of allowing players to experience the single player gameplay, and everybody loved it, and it was pretty much just a strict upgrade, but it didn't work with the official competitive format. What
Dude, the new fucking combat is I've heard there's been mixed takes on the new combat, right? And I hear that a lot of the mixed takes, the reason that there seems to be a confliction is, and I don't want to speak as if I know, I've just heard. I'm reiterating things that I've read and heard, but it seems that there's a lot of veterans and hardcore Pokemon gamers that don't like this new way of Pokemon battling because, not to bash them, but it's been the same formula for like literally 2 decades, and this is just going to be a complete shift in everything. And so there's just like a fear of change kind of like on that end. Or on the other end of the spectrum, you have people like, fuck the fuck yes, we've been waiting for this shit. Are you kidding me? Like, why was this not the fucking initial way that Pokemon fought? But yeah, and then you also have people in the middle, like Grumpus, where like it looks cool, but I don't know if I like it, I want to stay neutral with it. I'm not sure if I'm one way or the other. But yeah, dude, oh my god. I'm so curious how this new mechanic is going to translate. Like, I'm excited for it. I know it sounds so fucking, he's such a progressive piece. Dude, I'm all down for change. I'm so excited when things innovate. I hope that this is an innovation and not a downgrade. But I'm always excited when people try new things, And Game Freak has been doing the same fucking thing for literally the past 2 decades. So regardless if it's good or bad, I'm super excited that they are starting to test out new things, and I really want something new to stick. Yeah, let's see this. We'll back up a little bit. I'm super excited.
the battle system was optimized around making the single player gameplay fun to experience rather than being something that would actually work if you were to play against your friends. So imagine Game Freak had found a new style of allowing players to experience the single player gameplay, and everybody loved it, and it was pretty much just a strict upgrade, but it didn't work with the official competitive format. What would you do then? Well, if your new system didn't work with competitive battles, that would kind of put you in a tough situation, right? Like, of course, you could just cut competitive battles from the game, but that would be really bad for a number of reasons. I think people would not be happy with that. I'm biased, of course, but I think even other players, enjoy battling their friends. It would also be bad from a marketing angle. So you would reach the conclusion that you want to include player versus player battles in your game, but I mean, you wouldn't use a different system for the player versus player battles than you would for like the player versus, you know, the environment battles, right? And so you wouldn't actually be able to update your system, even if you found something better. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that the single player experience and the competitive player experience are actually pretty different, and they kind of require different things to be optimized and to feel good. And by separating these out into different games, the Pokemon Company is then able to have two different systems that they can work around to make the best that they can be, and they're able to make changes independently without the—
They pretty much circumvented it with Pokemon Champions. Game Freak and the people at Nintendo, they really did think about this, and just like Wolfie's saying, like, well, we have this huge single player scene, right, that the majority of our Pokemon fan base that comes every time there's a new drop comes to experience, and then you have competitive, and fucking trying to try all these new innovations and changes is going to be very difficult because you end up changing the bedrock of a lot of competitive foundational mechanics, right? But like he's saying, oh, Pokemon Champions is a game changer. Holy shit.
them being directly tied to each other while still having them be connected enough because you can send Pokemon between the games. Again, feel free to take this all with a grain of salt. This is just why I think they might have done this and why I think it actually might make sense and why I think it might actually be a good thing. If I can be honest, when I saw the trailer, initially I was actually pretty nervous because I was like, oh, this is a big change. Like, this is going to change things in a big way. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that this actually could give Game Freak more control to make the game better. And of course, there's no guarantee that it will be better, but I do see the reasoning behind why they would give this a shot. So let's talk about impact. And again, just a reminder, there isn't that much actual information out, so this is my best guess based on what I think is likely to happen and what is likely to come from these games, but it could be totally off base, so, you know, don't take it as fact. This is just what I think. I think that it is almost certain that official competitive Pokemon tournaments will take place in Pokemon Champions.
Yeah, that makes
Perhaps
sense.
indefinitely, depending on
Yeah,
how they go.
100% makes sense.
The reason I think this is because, I mean, this is a game totally built around battling, and so to not have your official tournaments use the battling.
The other reason this is going to be the case too is because I think as it is right now, even the official tournaments, they're not that they're like unprofessionally done, but like if you've ever gone to one of them, it's literally just a giant stadium filled with, like, it feels like an infinite number of fucking booths, and everyone's there with their Nintendo Switches and like porting in. Like, I feel like with this, it's going to be so much of a better platform for every single competitive association to use, like VGC included. Like, it's going to be so much better to watch too. Oh my god.
Simulator to me seems like a missed opportunity, and also why are you doing it if that's the case? And I think this could be a really good thing. Just speaking personally for a second, on the one hand, this is kind of scary because this would be like a big change for competitive players. Like, we always have played in the newest mainline game, and so moving to a game that could exist in parallel to the mainline games, there's room for that to not go great for us, right? But at the same time, I think that having a dedicated environment just for battling could also lead to better rule sets, maybe actual balance patches, because right now, like, we don't get balance patches ever. Like, when a Pokemon is broken at the moment, it's just like, deal with it and find other Pokemon that can beat it. And so perhaps it would be easier to fine tune Pokemon that are overperforming, like a certain, you know, fire type starter Pokemon, in an environment where it doesn't affect every single player who's—
Dude, Incineroar apparently is literally the best Pokemon in competitive VGC comp ever in history, supposedly. It's kind of insane. And it makes me want to fucking play Incineroar. Oh.
Certain, you know, fire type starter Pokemon in an environment where it doesn't affect every single player who's just, you know, playing through the game with their beloved kitten or whatever. Another upside of moving to a simulator
Sylveon
is
is OP
that, I mean,
also.
we don't know exactly how it's going to work, but it is very likely that the way in which you get Pokemon in game is going to be different. If the entire focus of the simulator is just to, you know, battle with your Pokemon, then it is likely that getting good Pokemon to battle with will be easier than it is in the mainline games. And maybe this is far-fetched, but I think that it is not crazy to think that if the Pokemon Company is making their own battle simulator, that they are looking at the success of the existing Pokemon battle simulator that is unofficial, that being Pokemon Showdown. I'm sure the Pokemon Company isn't thrilled about Pokemon Showdown, but at the same time, it can't be denied just the impact that it's had. And frankly, it is the easiest way to battle agast your friends or other strangers online.
Pokemon Showdown go
easy
hard.
to just boot it up, you know.
Tell you what though, Pokemon Champion comes out, I'm
random
playing that all
battles
the fucking time.
and start battling. So it's possible that, of course, it's still a grind to get your Pokemon in Pokemon Champions, but Personally, I doubt it. And if this is the case where you can kind of, just pick the Pokemon you want to use and not have to go through the trouble of breeding for the right IVs, giving them the right EVs, knocking out wild Pokemon to get the TRs that you want, I don't like that mechanic, then I think it could really lower the barrier to entry to a lot of players who would be interested in playing competitively, but are daunted by the idea of, going through all the...
I wonder if they'll end up giving like rental teams. Like, I wonder if they're gonna do it like how he's saying, where they'll make it a lot easier to have competitive ready Pokemon. Because I agree with him. That's like one of the biggest turnoffs for competitive Pokemon, at least in game, like inside of the actual standalone games. And that's why I always liked Pokemon Showdown, because you could just fucking set them all to exactly what you want. It's a simulator. But yeah, that was always the biggest turnoff, is like, not only do I have to fucking grind my comp Pokemons, but I have to grind them in this type of way. Like, I have to go find which Pokemon is going to give me the speed stat EV, and I gotta go kill fucking 100 of those to get 252 max IVs in this. And like, I think they improved the shit out of it in Scarlet and Violet. It's like so easy now to fucking train your Pokemon, but even with that, like he's saying, I wonder if they're gonna make that even easier with the release of Pokemon Champions.
Trouble to get their team in game when they don't even know if it's Bleakneck, then I think it could really lower the barrier to entry to a lot of players who would be interested in playing competitively, but are daunted by the idea of, going through all the trouble to get their team in game when they don't even know if it'll be good. In theory, a battle simulator could also add features that don't currently exist in any mainline game, such as the ability to intentionally lower one of your IVs, which can be a real cause for headaches at the moment, especially when you're dealing with legendary Pokemon. This is not an exaggeration. When I was preparing for Worlds, I needed to get a Calyrex Shadow, and it took me over 9 hours to get the Calyrex, and I got lucky. That's just to get one Pokemon, and I'm lucky that I had the time to do that, but like, not everybody does. Right now, we just don't know enough to say whether or not the battle simulator will just let you like pick the Pokemon you want to use and put in all the details and like, yeah, just be done with it right then and there. It very well could still be some kind of process. Maybe you need to use resources that you get. We don't know anything, right? But it is very likely, in my opinion, that it'll be much faster, and therefore it'll be much easier to get new people to give competitive a shot, which, as somebody who really cares about the growth of competitive Pokemon, I think is a good thing. One last thing that I want to say about accessibility is that it seems like, from what they've said, you can connect Pokemon Champions to Pokemon Home. So it seems all but confirmed that you'll be able to transfer in Pokemon that you've used in other Pokemon games and then be able to battle with them in Pokemon Champions. So if you have a Pokemon that's been your beloved partner since, Ruby and Sapphire, you'll still be able to battle with them in tournaments and against other players in Pokemon Champions. I suspect that this game has been in development for a little bit, but there is a more recent release that has had really resounding success that could, in theory, have influenced this title as well. I don't know for sure. Maybe it influenced its development, maybe it didn't, but regardless, I think it can tell us something about how this will perform. I am talking about Pokemon TCG Pocket. For those of you who don't know, Pokemon TCG Pocket is a mobile app which is effectively a simplified version of the Pokemon trading card game. Rather than having 6 prizes to choose from, you have 3 prizes, the Pokemon overall are a lot weaker, and the games are overall a lot faster. From what I can tell, Pokemon TCG Pocket appears to have been a resounding success, and I think it's working really well as a bridge between general Pokemon fans and people who are actually competing in trading card game tournaments. The trading card game is also at an all-time high right now in terms of popularity, and I don't think that's necessarily because it's seeing the benefits of TCG
Maybe I get
Pocket
this mobile game. This looks cool.
But I also don't imagine that it's hurting. If Pokemon Champions is good and it's easy to play and it's easy to kind of pick up and get into, even if you don't have a background already in competitive battling, I think that it could spike competitive Pokemon's popularity in ways that, like, I can't even really articulate because I can't even really fathom them. Part of the reason why I am so excited for this game is because I think it's filling a need that we've had for a really long time. Back not that long ago, during like Sun and Moon, I'm talking like 2017 to 2019, competitive Pokemon, especially official competitive Pokemon, VGC, was not popular. Basically, most videos would cap out around like 10,000 views on YouTube, and if you got 10,000 views, you're like, I did it. Like, that's everybody who cares about competitive Pokemon. Good job, me. And part of the reason why competitive Pokemon was struggling so much during Sun and Moon is because there was no bridge. Pokemon as a franchise is extremely popular. It's the highest earning media franchise in the world. But all these people playing Pokemon had no idea that competitive Pokemon was even a thing. And in many ways, it was actually kind of hard to find information. Like, there was nothing mentioned in the original games about it, and the official competitive format uses all double battles, whereas the single player experience is almost entirely single battles. So even though you had this huge existing player base and you had this, established competitive scene with tournaments.
Yeah, that was always the thing that I guess shied me away from competitive VGC, because I've always kind of known about it playing the Pokemon games throughout it, but like just he stated, that was always the biggest thing, was I was a true fan of the single player Pokemon experience. That's what I truly liked about it. And like Pokemon Showdown, even that I kind of enjoyed because it did have like the single battles that emulated that single player experience. So, but I don't know, I mean, getting into this, it does feel like a whole different ballpark playing with two Pokemon, and I'm curious about it. I think once the new Legend ZA drops, we'll probably well, I don't know if it's going to be considered a mainline game. No, it's not, because it's not an A-Gen. The next mainline game, we're definitely going to be jumping into VGC. But I might be jumping into fucking Pokemon Champions if that drops before the next mainline game. So that's going to be super big. I'm excited for that shit.
The prize money with all these wonderful things about it with broadcasts, there wasn't really a clear way to get people who cared about Pokemon to care about the competitive scene. With Pokemon Champions, that could totally change, especially if traditional player versus player Pokemon battles are taken out of the mainline Pokemon games and instead put directly into Pokemon Champions. In the battle footage that they showed of the game, it was a double battle, which again is the same format that we use in the official competitive format. Now, while we're on the topic of popularity, there is actually something that I'm pretty worried about and pretty concerned about when I think about this game and the impact that it could have. Pokemon tournaments at the moment have exploded in popularity. For context, tournaments used to struggle to get 100 entrants, and the tournament that I just went to last weekend had over 1,000. And that's a good thing, right? The game is growing, people are interested, but there are some logistical problems. The structure the tournaments use has had to change twice in the last 2 years already, because the amount of players interested in playing has grown so much that like the old tournament structures, which were built for fewer players, couldn't handle them. And tournaments at the moment are selling out in seconds, meaning that lots of people who would love to play just can't play. And of course you might think, well, just, you know, open more slots. Come on, like it's not that hard. But the problem is that the Pokemon Company is running these huge tournaments and they've booked venues sometimes years in advance. And if the game suddenly spikes in popularity, which currently it is already doing without this game, they aren't able to just, you know, quickly change venue sizes or change venues. My suspicion is that the Pokemon Company is several years ahead of where they would have liked to be in a best case scenario, and that's actually causing some problems. That being said, I mean, there's nothing really that we can do about this. Like, I mean, none of the fans can do anything. None of us creators can do anything about it. We kind of just have to hope that, you know, the Pokemon Company finds solutions. But yeah, like for this tournament that I was at this past weekend, one of my best friends tried to sign up, was there the minute that registration opened, and didn't get a slot. And there were over 1,000 slots, and he didn't get in the first minute. So it's not necessarily something that is, you know, cause for panic, but if the game really does explode, if we see even something similar to TCG Pocket and the impact that that's had, I think that it could become very difficult for people who want to play to actually play. Now, the trailer for Pokemon Champions didn't really show off that much specific information. It gave us a really good general feel for what the game would be, but it didn't have many specifics in it, which is why I've, you know, really tried to preface a lot of this by saying this is my speculation. That being said, there was something extremely interesting that they did make sure to show off. And that
terrestrialization and megas in the same battle, baby.
Mechanics present in the same battle. In the trailer, we see Charizard Mega evolve to Charizard X, and we see Dondozo on the opposite side to Rascalize.
I am so happy Game Freak decided to bring back Mega Evolutions. I was so sad when they fucking pocketed it. I was like, what? I know. Why? I feel like Mega Evolutions has by far been my most favorite gimmick that they've added. Terrestrialization is really cool too. I think it's very interesting, especially because it's a mechanic that feels very fun in both the single player and the competitive space. But Mega Evolutions will always hold a space in my heart. Fucking Mega Evolutions go so hard. So hard. I don't know why they ever stopped, but I'm glad that they're bringing it back.
This is very, very interesting. And frankly, I'm going to say that this isn't really speculation, because if you couldn't have battles with both Terrestrialization and Mega Evolution, I don't think that they would show it in the trailer. So we can assume that there will be multiple generational mechanics present in these battles, or at least that they have the option sometimes to use these generational mechanics in the same battles together. This is another advantage of having a game solely dedicated to just battling, where they're able to bring in older mechanics without it affecting the single player experience. I think it is somewhat likely that the other central mechanics
of Z moves too
also make a return as
well.
I
would be down.
Though again, it's just speculation.
I do like Z moves.
I think that this is a really, really cool concept. This is a huge advantage of having a game just dedicated to battling, where, you know, there could be some rule sets where it's just Mega Evolution, or some rule sets where it's, you know, just Terrestrialization, or some where it's Megas and Terrestrialization. But the other advantage in theory is that they're actually able to mess with the numbers a little bit and fine tune all of these mechanics to be somewhat comparable in power. In a vacuum, Dynamax was the strongest mechanic because it doubled your HP and gave you a huge boost to your power, but maybe in the simulator they could change it to be, I don't know, a 30% increase to your HP and a 20% increase to your power, just throwing out random numbers, right? Something that gets it more in line with a Mega Evolution. It's possible that, multiple Pokemon on your team can be affected by, multiple of these mechanics, but it's also possible that you would have to choose each battle, whether you're going to Mega Evolve, whether you're going to Terastallize, Dynamax, or use a Z-move, or that you can mix and match. I think that this really opens up some interesting gameplay, and with all these different mechanics and all the different combinations, I think it could keep the game really fresh, having access to all these different tools that you would never have all of them in one mainline game when they are balanced correctly.
Gosh.
And when you think about rotating in Pokemon and rotating...
Dude, no rule set comp is going to be fucking wild. It is going to be so fucking insane with all of the mechanics from every gen. If you can have them, my lord.
In mechanics and out Pokemon, maybe you ban legendaries for one season, maybe you only have, Z moves for one season, whatever. I think the game could stay really fresh for a really long time, even if there aren't new Pokemon being added. Of course, there was one line in the trailer that is kind of related to this, which is that they said that not all Pokemon would be available in this game, at least at first. There might be some people who are concerned about this, like, yeah, not all Pokemon are going to be in the game, at release at least, but I don't think this is inherently a problem. Counterintuitively, having more Pokemon present in a competitive format actually decreases diversity, because when you get certain Pokemon that are just so strong, they end up crowding out a lot of the weaker Pokemon. For example, Pokemon like Scrafty and Hitmontop, who used to be really effective Pokemon, have basically seen zero usage once Incineroar was released. And there's actually a lot of Pokemon that having Incineroar in a game just kind of crowds out. I'm sure that eventually most Pokemon will be added to Pokemon Champions. I mean, I'm not sure, but I would suspect. But I think it's actually a good thing if Game Freak considers curating the rule sets to make them more interesting for competitive players, rather than just being like, here's every Pokemon, like enjoy Landorus, enjoy Incineroar, enjoy Calyrex. If you're upset about not every Pokemon being in the game, I totally get it. I understand people want to use their favorites. But for me personally, I think that the idea that they are willing to not just put every Pokemon in is actually a good thing, at least for enjoying competitive play. I'm sure also, just like the mainline games, that they will always be adding more Pokemon in, so that by the time it's been out for a little bit, I'm sure a vast majority of the Pokemon will be present, but again, that is speculation. Perhaps the only Pokemon legal will be, electric types, and we'll have to play a really weird format. One big elephant in the room is monetization, and this is one that I think is interesting, but unfortunately, I don't really have anything to say, I think. It is likely that the game will try and make money, whether that's through a one-time purchase, whether it's through, Nintendo's online features, which I'm pretty sure you'll have to pay for that.
I would pay money for it.
Whether it's through, maybe you have to, like, I don't know, buy the ability to make your Pokemon stronger. I don't know, right? I think it is likely that the game will be monetized in some way, and I have no idea whether or not that will feel predatory, whether or not that will feel,
Yeah, I kind of really hope that I wouldn't mind if it's monetized, like if we have to buy it like a standalone game. Ew. Gross. But yeah, I think I would, and I wouldn't complain too much about it as long as it was a reasonable price. I think I would be more pissy if, like he said, if it's free and then they throw in like, oh, if you want to be able to increase your weekly limit on EV changes, you can spend $10 a month and like shit like that. Like, I'm gonna hate that. It's gonna be so dumb. But I would be down if it was just like, yeah, I don't know what a price point would be that I would want. I definitely feel like $60 to $70 is way too high. I'd be down from like anywhere between 20 to 40, I feel like, but I'm curious.
In some way, and I have no idea whether or not that will feel predatory, whether or not that will feel, exploitative. I don't imagine that it will be pay to win, personally. It might
I'm
be
looking for my 2DS to play my old games.
But I do think that
your old Pokemon games, Grumpus? This video got you itching for some Pokemon, or just your old 2DS games in general? Dude, I'm so excited to hop back onto the Pokemon wagon, dude. Vito, what's up, homie? We're watching some Pokemon.
Generally, it seems like people have felt that the monetization policies in Pokemon.
I loaded up my Switch today, and all of my saves were lost.
Like, I know TCG Pocket, there's a lot of ways that you can
scratch, buddy.
play for free.
Let's do it together.
And Pokemon Unite, which is the other big example that I'm familiar with, I think a lot of the game you can accomplish via grinding. Like, of course, it will take a little bit more time, but I don't think it's like a crazy example. And a lot of the purchases that you can make are for cosmetics. It would be really funny if, we had cosmetics for Pokemon in official battles. I'm not sure if that
You
will
got
happen.
Cloud,
I really have no
hope.
idea. What I will say is that I am tentatively
Grumpus lost them
optimistic
all.
about this. I'm sure that you will have to pay some for it.
Dude, Grumpus, if you are getting back into Pokemon, because I'm definitely getting back into Pokemon, we'll be in the same boat, brother. Like, I have all my saves throughout the years, but I'm not going to go through. Like, most of them are probably lost. I don't know which ones I have saved, but I'll just probably start scratch. Like, that's why I said I'll play the new Pokemon ZA, because I don't know if that one's going to be a mainline game, because I think the mainline games are just whenever they do a new gen. But I'll definitely be fucking, whenever the next gen drops, like, I'll be playing that shit, too. Papa Grumps with an ad? Oh, I'm sorry, brother. Here, how about this, though? Since it's an ad for you, I will do a little smoky break so that we can continue watching this together. Ooh, 9-10 on Bunny Girl, though. That's pretty good.
30, Or Darius didn't
Darius did the Darius thing?
Or Darius didn't do the Darius thing.
Oh, didn't do the Darius
Yeah.
thing. Ooh.
Because
Zaya looks like she did a little bit of a thing for a minute.
Yeah. Our Shaco also isn't doing much of a Shaco thing.
I'll take this hit here.
Ouch. Yeah.
You want some of this? You'll wait.
Yeah, I'll take it. I don't give a fuck. They just keep going in, and it's like, yeah, kill me.
Okay. We back, Grumpus. Perfect. See, I braked for you. I waited. They did maintenance today on a save transfer. For Pokemon?
But I also the purchases that you can make are for cosmetics. It would be really funny if, you know, we had cosmetics for Pokemon in official battles. I'm not sure if that will happen. I really have no idea. What I will say is that I am tentatively optimistic about this. I'm sure that you will have to pay.
Dude, speaking of, what is this? Pokemon, what Pokemon game is this? It's their Pokemon MOBA. I forgot the name of it. But if this Pokemon MOBA was on PC, I would have played the shit out of it. It was only on Switch, I think, and mobile, I believe, the two platforms. Which, like, I think I played a little bit of it on the Switch, and it is fun. But, oh my god, if this shit was on PC, I would be playing this over League right now, easily, you know?
Some for it, but I also don't really mind. Like, I would pay for a Pokemon game anyway. That's my opinion. I have some faith that they won't have super predatory monetization practices, but we have no information about this. So, like, with the other ones, I felt like I had educated guesses. With this, I've got nothing. So, you know, we'll have to see. The last thing that I want to talk about before we wrap up here is the impact that this could have. Obviously, a lot of this video has been speculative, right? And I don't normally like speculative content, but because this is such a monumental announcement, I felt like I should talk a little bit and try to give what I hope has been, you know, level-headed, realistic expectations based on what we know right now. Very well could be off the mark, but this is just my best guess at being reasonable. But I want to take a second and kind of talk about what this could mean. Of course, it's possible the game flops and nobody plays it, and it's just kind of a flash in the pan. But I think that this could be a real turning point for Pokemon going forward. In a perfect scenario, I think it is totally possible that the existence of this game not only makes competitive play drastically better, but also makes the single player experience better as well. More than that, I think that this game could be a really, really good and needed gateway to introduce people to how wonderful it is to battle with competitive Pokemon. Speaking personally, Pokemon tournaments have just straight up changed my life. Even before I was doing YouTube, getting to meet so many incredible people traveling around the world, it's not an exaggeration to say that it really did change my life. And I don't think that I'm the only one. I think many of us who play competitively feel similarly about the impact that this game has had. Part of the reason why I feel so motivated to make YouTube videos in the first place is because I feel like I was so lucky to have.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. The venues, like, this is how it's all set up. Everyone brings their consoles, and like this is at the what's it called, official level, like official Pokemon VGC. So having Pokemon Showdown be on mobile, be on fucking everything pretty much is going to be a huge game changer. This is going to be intense. I may have to do something I want to do. At least I got my Switch and iPad if I go. May got bigger act. Not sure myself. For show, Vita, for show.
Have this chance to have these incredible experiences and I want other people to at least know that they're out there if they're interested. So for me, I think that this game is a really, really great thing, and I think that it could really help to introduce more people to this world, which
Yeah, I'm
I love so
super
dearly.
excited for Pokemon
also, it's
Champions.
just really crazy to see how far this scene has grown. When I first started playing, there were like 350 people who played competitive Pokemon global. Like that was it. That was the entire global player base. And now,
Jesus.
I mean, it could be in the hundreds of thousands who are playing in some way, shape, or form. A game like this existing back when I first started would have been unthinkable. Like if you came in and you were like, hey guys, Pokemon's gonna make a battle simulator, you would have been laughed out the door. So it's really cool to be living in a time where, yeah, I mean, it's not
Dude, I'm
a
so
joke
excited.
anymore. Like, it's
Especially
coming,
this
it's
is on
happening.
mobile.
I'm
I
trying
can
to have
I can
level
play Pokemon
expectation.
Battle
We don't
while
know very
poop.
much about this beyond the fact that it's
Yes.
coming. There's lots of things that could
Yes.
change. It could be bad. And yet, despite that, this feels like one of those moments where, at least for me, this is a game that could actually legitimately change my life. Like this could be a before Pokemon Champions and after Pokemon Champions kind of thing. So I don't know, I'm excited, I'm optimistic, I'm hopeful, and I guess I can just say that I'm really, really eager to see what they come out with and to learn more information. That's most of what I wanted to say. The last thing that I will say is this is my Wolfie prediction, okay? This is now, I saved this till the end because it's purely speculative, okay? This is, I'm putting my tinfoil hat on and this feels a little less grounded than everything else that I've said. But here's my thought, okay? Here's my prediction. Normally there's a new Pokemon game every 3 years. However, during the Direct today, they didn't say anything about Generation 10, which means effectively we can expect Scarlet and Violet to last for at least 1 year longer than it would normally, running for 4 years rather than 3. The problem is they are quickly running out of formats to do with Scarlet and Violet. So my tinfoil hat theory is that we're going to play one more World Championships in Scarlet and Violet, and then in the 4th year, before Generation 10 comes out, Pokemon Champions will come out, and then we'll play one World Championship in Pokemon Champions before Generation 10, maybe 2, depending on when it comes out. That's my theory. Anyway, thanks for watching. I know this was a different kind of video than I normally do, but I wanted to talk about Pokemon Champions because I just think it's so monumental. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Back to regularly scheduled.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's actually a pretty good tinfoil hat theory. Yeah, because I didn't realize a mainline Pokemon game comes out every 3 years then, and Scarlet and Violet, if they're not announcing Generation 10, is going to go 4 years instead of 3 years. But with their announcement of Pokemon Champions, that's going to be their skip for the 1 year. Dude. Yeah, I kind of agree with him. I think that Pokemon Champions, if it does end up doing well, is going to be pretty drastic for Pokemon as a whole, not even just the competitive scene. I think that's super exciting. Dude, perfect time to fucking jump into Pokemon when this shit drops. Perfect time. Super excited. Dealing with being in love with the streamer, it went south. So yeah, I mistook what they like me back, oh well. It's tough, dude. Parasocial relationships, it's a thing. Gotta keep that separation, man. Gotta keep that separation. It's kind of like TV. We're just a face on the screen, man. Yeah, let's check out this. This is the other two videos I was looking at. This was the big bulky of a one. And yeah, we wanted to get through this one first. I really liked a lot of this, so that was really good. But I wanted to check this out. This one was weird. I was just browsing through, and it was like Life of a Doodoo. Have you ever seen, babe, those like videos of the Earth with David Attenborough as the voice actor, and it'll be like random penguins?
Yeah.
I found like a Pokemon version of it. Yeah, so I'm gonna check that out. It's only like 4 minutes, so we'll see. Ouch.
Ow.
Oh, my knee. Yeah. Let's check this out.
The Asado
Life of a Doodoo.
Desert, dry and barren.
You like Sylph? Yeah, that's tough, brother. Like I said,
Some
Vita,
call
parasocial
this
relationships.
place
You gotta be able to
home,
make that
from high
separation.
up in the sky to those just beneath the sand. But not all find this arid place hospitable.
Where they even have the voice, kind of like David Attenborough. This is the life of a Doodoo.
Doduo, on their annual migration towards land with a more temperate climate. Unlike other birds,
Wait, this is
Doduo
cool.
rely mainly on their strong, developed legs to run great distances, reserving their ability to fly. for
Shiny
only
one!
time.
There's a shiny one! Is that it? That is! Look, that's a shiny Doodoo! I saw it! I saw the Easter egg! That's a shiny Doodoo!
Reserving their ability to
Right
fly
there.
for only times of dire need. Despite their impressive
Look, there it is again! There
traveling
it is again!
across the vast desert is no easy feat.
That's totally a shiny
The young
Doodoo.
Doduo
Right
can
there.
often wander too far too quickly, separated
Okay, that's cool.
from the flock.
Oh, that one's got a stupid head. Why?
Something in the distance has caught his attention. Perhaps a patch of greenery?
Wait, this is so
It
cute.
looks
I want to
like
watch more of
curiosity
these.
has gotten the better of him. The other head, still resting from the long journey, is
Oh,
along
it's
for the
sleeping.
ride.
It's cute.
After days of eating nothing but dry grass, any chance to change his diet is highly tempting.
There's a little cactus.
It's just a group of
I forgot their
cacti.
name. I'm a Pokemon fan, I swear.
They aren't worth the trouble.
Aw.
Now awake from his slumber, the other head realizes that they're no longer with the flock. Unsurprisingly, he's quite frustrated.
This is
But
so
a lone
cute.
Doduo has caught the attention of others. Sandile specializes
gonna show
in ambush tactics and
Pokemon?
eat almost anything that collapses in the desert. Still, there's not much
There's definitely
food to
places
scavenge
for you to be
in
looking
these
for
parts.
relationships, but with your
Desperate
streamers
for a
probably aren't
meal,
the best
a
place.
single Doduo
Sorry, brother.
a feast to relish. He knows there is little chance to bring down such large prey on his own. After all, a Doduo's deadly kick and exceptional speed make them a difficult target for any predator. However, he doesn't need to hunt alone. With the
There's
element of
definitely some online
surprise,
outlets,
the two of them
Vita. Like I
together
said, though,
might stand a
the
chance.
streamer is probably not the way to go.
The Doduo,
There is
so
a term,
far,
it's called
is unaware of
parasocial
their
relationships, and it's a very serious thing. It's best not to fall
danger. By
into them.
submerging themselves in sand, they have set up a very effective ambush site.
We are, at the
But they
end of the
still
day,
need to be
entertainers. We are
With
here to
two
entertain.
heads, Doduo are
Like I said,
keenly
kind of treat it
aware
like
of any
TV when you're
potential
watching TV.
threats. The Sandile duo remains still, waiting for the perfect moment to strike.
We can look up a video on parasocial relationships after this
With a
Pokemon
leg
stuff.
injured,
I don't mind.
the Doduo can no longer
Let's get
flee
through these,
on
though.
foot,
These are cute.
But he has one last resort.
Oh my god! Whoa, hold on. Pause. What the fuck just happened?
Strike. The Sandile duo
What? Is that lore accurate? Can Doodoo do that shit? What the fuck?
remains still, waiting for the perfect moment to strike.
I have never seen a Doodoo do that. No, that has to be lore accurate. I want to know now.
With a leg
How does their neck
injured,
not
the
get
Doduo
twisted?
can no longer flee on foot. But he has one last resort.
No, this is fake. I mean, I know it's not real Pokemon official shit, but like, this isn't lore accurate. No.
Now free from the deadly encounter, he lets out a
I love how this is
well-deserved
trying to be a Nat Geo documentary. Amazing, dude. This shit's awesome, Cole. No, that last part was full meme territory. They had me in the first half. Again, I know this is like an inspiration of Pokemon, and it's fucking amazingly done. But like, it was actually pretty goddamn on par with like real Pokemon, and it got to that last point where Homeboy just helicoptered away. Can I gotta look that up? Can Duo fly? No, there's no way. Can they fly? No. Can they fly? At all? What's their lore? Biology. Duos, each head has a... each foot is believed on occasion. It is also theorized... Due to its almost non-existent wings, it cannot fly very well. However, it has developed legs that make it a powerful runner. Okay, yeah, so that last scene where the Duduo just started fucking helicopter flying by spinning its head around, that shit's not lore accurate. That was just for the memes. That shit was funny, though. Alright, let's check out this one real quick. This is another one that I saw by someone completely different. 11 days ago, 1 million views. Apparently it pops the fuck off. Pokemon Dark Edition, Drowsy's Den. So this one might be a little bit spooky. Let's check this shit out, though. Ew, the animation already creeps me out. Is that a Kangaskhan? What is that? Ew. Ew. Is it... I don't like this at all. Where is he taking the Drowsy? That's a Drowsy. What the fuck? What the fuck? What is he? I'm still trying to figure out what Pokemon he is. That has to be a Kangaskhan, right? Also, the people look so weird. Oh god, it's a Hypno. Ew. The Hypnos look pretty creepy too. His belly button's fucking gross. It's also creeping me out. Dude, Hypno would so be used by fucking psychopaths and assassins if they were real. Ew. Ew, it is a Kangaskhan. Why does their pouch look like that? Oh. That is... I don't know why that creeps me the fuck out so much. Ew, I don't like this. Ew. Bro. Why couldn't they give it a normal pouch? Why couldn't they just give it the good old fucking horizontal pouch? What is this pussy pocket they have given it for a belly? I don't think it died. It's just asleep, right?
Hey, I'll call you back, okay? I just got in.
Did it die? That was not what I expected. Is that lore accurate? Is Cubone supposed to be like... Well, I know Cubone wears the skull of its mother, but I guess the mother wouldn't be a Kangaskhan then. It would just be a mother Marowak? Oh. That is wild. All right, Vito, we'll watch a video on parasocial relationships here. Let me see if Ludwig has one, because I like the way that he butchers words. Yeah, this is actually perfect. I am not your friend. Let's watch this. And this seems so harsh, but he's going to talk about what parasocial relationships are.
What is up, boys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Look, I know this might be a bit of a harsh title, but I think this is a topic I haven't really spoke about on YouTube, even though I've talked a lot about it on Twitch. And it's worth bringing up to you guys, because it's kind of important. I don't know if you know this, but listen loud and clear. None of your content creators, your favorite ones, including me, are your friends. Now, again, it's not just to make you feel bad or whatever. It's just the truth. Look, I have 1 million subscribers, but I don't know 1 million people in the world. I don't know how many people you can know. I don't even think I know all my Facebook friends. All right, I don't even know all the people I follow on Twitter. How many people are you actually friends with? For me, it's like 20, 25? I don't really know. I guess it's the list of people I'd invite to my funeral. Do you get to make an invite list for that? I don't know how that... And I know this might seem random, but I'm bringing it up for 2 reasons. The first
Got snipped by the auto mod. Sorry about that, Vita.
Video called "I'm Not Your Friend," and I'm gonna play most of it here for you because I kind of want you guys to watch it. It's really well made, and it actually features Slime and Miles, 2 of my real in-life friends who talk about this. And I actually had no idea this was gonna be made. So big shout out, by the way, to Skip. The video you can find in full down below, and I implore you to check it out because it's really well done. But let's just watch some of it here. How could we not get attached to someone like you? Just treat it like you would treat the TV show Mad Men. You shouldn't form a relationship with me. At the end of the day, I'm entertainment. If I stop entertaining, you stop watching. That's it. That's what I want from you guys, because I'm not your friend. I will never, ever hang out with you. And I don't care about you because I don't know you. I can't. There are 13,000 people here.
And this doesn't obviously apply to like everybody, but this is a sentiment that a lot of people should be taking whenever they're watching streamers in general.
Body of people, and I stream to entertain. That's all I do.
Okay, let's pause for a second. Who is this guy? What is Twitch? Who is he talking to? And why do they supposedly want to be his friend? Let's start from the beginning. This is Ludwig. He's one of the most popular streamers on Twitch, the biggest live streaming platform in the world. Although Twitch started out as a platform for streaming video games, Ludwig is known as a variety streamer, which means that he broadcasts himself doing activities including, but not limited to, cooking, painting, wearing costumes, shopping, ranking things, telling stories, tasting food, reacting to content, hosting game shows, unboxing things. The list goes on for longer than you can imagine. These aren't just solo performances though. On Twitch,
this is a good video,
viewers
Vita.
can
Hope you're
interact
paying
with streamers
attention.
in real time. Any message you send in the chat is visible to the streamer and to everyone else watching. Every streamers host hundreds of interactions between Ludwig and his chat and between the chatters themselves. So with all that said, the question remains, why do Ludwig's viewers want to be his friends so badly? Well, who better to answer that question than his actual friends?
Right away, it was pretty apparent that Ludwig loved entertaining, and he was always, funny, quick-witted guy. And sometimes we would even have to tell him, we're your friends, not your audience. Like, stop. We want the real Ludwig back. But that is the real Ludwig. Like, he's being so genuine, and he has such a passion for entertainment that it was just clear in the beginning that if he wanted to make a career out of it, that the sky would be the limit.
He got very big very fast because he has this innate ability to absorb material and understand systems. He just watches Twitch all the time, and just learned and understood what worked and what didn't, and what he enjoyed and what didn't.
I mean, the basics are all there. Very charismatic, very witty, handsome guy, friendly, and I think that's what a lot of people are looking for in a friend.
Since he began streaming in 2018, Ludwig has quickly risen the ranks to become one of Twitch's top streamers, currently sitting at over 25,000 paying monthly subscribers. As
Dude,
the
he came
platform
back to
grows,
Twitch and
a lot
he's
of its
still at like
creators are starting to
20,000 plus.
experience
It's
a
crazy.
phenomenon most commonly experienced by celebrities and sports stars: parasocial or one-sided relationships. Viewers get to know Ludwig through the hours and hours of personal content he puts out, while from his perspective, his audience is just thousands of faceless chatters. But what makes people partake in these relationships, knowing that they're inherently one-sided?
I think that people wanting to feel connected to humans that they like on like a screen or something is very natural. It's just a very natural inclination to feel a connection to someone who is not engaging with you, and that's still meaningful and significant.
Twitch sort of, especially parasocial relationships on Twitch, tend to cater into a niche, and that's where a lot of his his viewerships and his jokes, a lot of those jokes are geared around playful banter at this guy who seems so handsome, so successful, in a way where you feel like you're his friend because you're able to play those same jokes that we did for many years. That's what friends do, right? And I think his encouragement of that does make people feel like they have maybe a closer connection with him as a person than they do.
There's like these extra header wires of engagement that you can plug into that are just so much more than anything that we've kind of dealt with as a society.
You gotta chill
Like,
out,
your
Vita.
TV just
The
doesn't
auto
talk
mod will
back to
get
you.
you.
It's just not the case, you know? Because you can type to someone and they can look over and they can see it, or that they can respond to you, or you can give them something like money or bits or whatever, and they can respond to that. And I think it's just this reward system that is very natural and embedded in our heads, that once again, many streamers, it would be detrimental if they explained that that reward system was based on a relationship that wasn't really two-sided, and because that makes people feel bad, but yet they need that to continue doing what they do to be financially supported, right? And that's the system that Twitch created.
It's often a competition of, especially in a chat that's moving as fast as somebody like Ludwig's, who can say the funniest or edgiest things, so to, you know, catch attention either from the streamer or from other viewers.
What we actually see represented in Twitch chat is just a small piece of the swarming mass, and that in a way gives me comfort because it makes me believe that many people are just simply watching, and maybe they'll throw an emote, and that's, I think, such a better system than this sort of hybridized, hyper-engaged content machine that is so lacking in sincerity across the board due to the nature of needing someone to support you, but also having to look the other way when you don't like them.
I think the relationships that viewers have with streamers aren't really ever going to be fulfilling because it's very much a ghost at a feast kind of thing. It's the same as fast
It's okay if you
food
don't
or
agree with
porn
it,
or
Vita.
any
It's
of
not
these,
for you to agree
you
with
know,
or disagree
modern-day
with. I'm just letting you know how
extrapolations
streamers are
of
going to treat
something
you.
that we've created in order to fill a need, you know, whether that's sugar, fat, salt, you know, sex drive, or friendship. I think if you're getting that through something like Twitch with a streamer, you're looking for it in the wrong place, and I think that's likely more harming for people than it is good. I mean, if you can separate it as purely enjoying it for entertainment, that's great. I think once you start feeling connected to somebody who's performing online, that's dangerous territory.
Yes.
But what I will say is I think that the communities that spring up around these people are very real and authentic places for people who maybe are lacking certain things in life to create friendships. And people have made friends that they still talk to daily. And I think those relationships are 1000% real and very important too. So I think there's a double-edged sword in terms of
Very much a
the
double-edged
relationship
sword.
with the streamer, but the relationship with other viewers and how they can interact together to form a community is very real.
There were 7.8 million unique streamers on Twitch in October. That's 7.8 million communities. For every chat like Ludwig's, there are thousands of others where a single message can make an impact. Rather than calling them parasocial, the relationships formed in these communities are better described as symbiotic.
I like
Sometimes
this.
it's nice to feel like you're a part of an intimate community, and other times, it's nice to be a part of the swarming mass, to feel like you're a part of something bigger. The very nature of online streaming means that the boundary between performer and friend will always be a tempting one to cross. And that's not going to change. The machine is working as it should. It's up to us to figure out what we're looking for.
And yeah, I think that video covered almost everything that I want to say, but it's true that the problem's not nearly as bad on YouTube as it is on Twitch. Because Twitch, you can directly interact with me, but it's still worth bringing up on YouTube because I never talk about it here, and there is still some of that that's left over, whether it's in the comments or wanting to come to my Twitch afterwards or whatever it is. So that's why I want to show it to you. And there's another reason I'm bringing this up, and it's because of JSchlatt, who recently on his other channel, The Weekly Slap, where he gives advice to watchers based off of emails they write in, said this.
And the last bit that I want to talk about, and I think this is the most important one, in my opinion, is this parasocial relationship that sometimes exists between the people who, consume content and the people who make it. remember seeing a clip from Ludwig, who is actually the only other person I've ever featured on this channel. And he was talking about this kind of thing. He basically said, like, I want you to treat my shit like a TV show, you know? I want you to think of it like Lost, almost. Like, you tune in every week on ABC to watch it. Holy shit, it's entertaining at first. You know, they're on an island. There's fucking bears in the forest. Like, what's going on? You know, this is fun. I want to watch it every week. But then, you know, maybe in the third season, starts getting a little weird, falling off the rails a little bit. You don't even know what the fuck's going on in the fourth season. They go to some church, and then they open the door, and then they're filled with light. Are they dead? Was the island real? Who the fuck knows? Either way, you stop watching it. Because it's weird, you know. It's Resident Sleeper. If I'm ever boring, I don't want you to keep watching what I'm doing. I want everybody who watches to be here solely because of the content, and that's part of the reason why I enjoy putting on this bombastic character I do, because it's fun. It's entertainment, and that's all it is. And this is the same reason I don't spam my Twitter feed with personal shit, and even my alt is literally just memes and me typing things.
Cole says, there is a little bit of this when I bartended. It can be dangerous to extend yourself too much to every customer you have, and also as a customer to expect the bartender to be your friend. Yeah.
Things in all capital letters. Like, it should be pretty clear to you guys that I don't want you to know all about me. I don't really tend to open up this window of, yeah, here's everything about me. Here's my I'm a Virgo, you know, like...
Yeah. Again, Vita, it's okay if you don't agree with it. It's not for you to disagree or to agree with, because, again, the streamer doesn't give a shit, honestly, if you agree or disagree or not. But the point being is that at the end of the day, a streamer is entertainment. You know, you treat us like a TV show. If we're ever boring, if we're ever not entertaining, then go watch another TV show. But we're not your friends. Sorry. And that's going to be the same for every streamer, no matter at what level they are, you know? And then I do like that term that they were using earlier, symbiotic, especially at the smaller level, because there are. I mean, we have people like Goof, we have people like Plasmatic, Novus, you know, all these other people that we aren't necessarily like forming parasocial relationships with each other, but we're all kind of on this grind together, right? And it's more of like a symbiotic relationship where we can all recognize, you know, respect each other's grind and kind of move forward and grow better together like that, right? But this level of parasocialness, while it's always nice to kind of have like, you know, like a level of friendliness with your community, there is at the end of the day, like a clear separation. And if you're looking for relationships online, there are definitely places to do that. But again, at the end of the day, that's why the term parasocial relationship has become such a buzzword in the Twitch community. Twitch isn't the place for that. Sorry to break that to you. And again, it doesn't have to be something that you agree or disagree with. That doesn't matter because you're not the streamer. So the end of the day, it's going to matter what the streamer feels, and most streamers feel that parasocial relationships kind of suck. So
number for me. I'm sorry, I don't love you. I could tweet that I love you, but that's not true. And when I see relationships being formed like this that are just so one-sided in nature, I can't help but feel kind of concerned. Again, my shit is a fucking TV show. The TV show will never love you. The characters have no idea who you are. They're not even real. And that's basically it. And it sucks because this channel is kind of a contradiction of everything I just said. And it feels kind of hypocritical for me to have this channel while also maintaining that I don't want people to get too attached to me.
Double-edged sword.
Person. And that's what I've been struggling with. It's definitely a gray area. And I wish it was an easier situation to kind of reconcile with in my head, but it's not.
And I thought that was pretty sick of Schlatt to do. I love the weekly.
I think the additional point to make on this, and especially for you, Vita, if you're listening, is you need to understand that not only does it not matter if you agree or disagree, but you forcing your opinion on a streamer that is going to disagree with you every time, it puts the streamer in an uncomfortable position. I hope you understand that. So there is a reason that streamers don't like parasocial relationships and these one-sided, super reflective, you know, like, it's not healthy. It's not. It's a very unhealthy thing to do, and I think that Ludwig, I think that Jay Schlatt, and I think that even the guy that made this video over here hits some very solid points. So there's definitely some things that if you disagree with this, you might need to sit down and probably collect some thoughts with yourself and kind of see where you want to go forward in life from that point on. But looking to form relationships on Twitch isn't the path that you should be continuing going down. Automod's going to get you every time, brother.
Even though I think it reveals maybe a deeper side to him, I think it's useful, because Woody's gamertag was really useful to me as a kid. And I think at the end of the day, most people kind of get it, you know? Like, most people just kind of watch it. Maybe they pull some personality traits, or maybe they just come for a laugh, and then they leave, and that's it. But some people, you know, this is for you. Make sure
What
at the
up,
end of the day that you're
Plaz?
just watching to watch, you know, for fun.
We were watching a
for
video on
laugh,
parasocial
to escape
relationships.
reality for a moment, but then you go right back into it, all right? And you need to work on your life. I get this all the time on Twitch.
Ooh, this is a good
And so,
part.
to escape reality for a moment, to personality traits, or maybe they just
Here,
come
we'll
from
start it from here,
another
Plaz,
way.
since she just
In
showed
my
up.
head, but
There's not too
it's-
much that you
it's
mentioned, Plaz. Pretty much the beginning of this was Ludwig introducing himself, and then we kind of watched a video of somebody else talking about Ludwig and kind of interviewing his friends and talking about parasocial relationships a little bit. And then this big segment was Jay Schlatt talking about Ludwig again and parasocial relationships, and now we're kind of just getting like the follow-up here.
And I thought that was pretty sick of Schlatt to do. I love the weekly slap, by the way. I hope he continues to do it, because even though I think it reveals maybe a deeper side to him, I think it's useful, because Woody's gamertag was really useful to me as a kid. And I think at the end of the day, most people kind of get it, you know? Like,
We
most
Ludwig
people just kinda
pilled,
watch
baby.
it, maybe they pull some personality traits, or maybe they just come for a laugh, and then they leave, and that's it. But some people, you know, this is for you. Make sure at the end of the day that you're just watching to watch, you know, for fun, for a laugh.
Oh,
to
Cole
escape
got sniped
reality
too?
for a moment, but then you go right back into it, all right? And you need to work on your life. I get this all the time on Twitch, and sometimes even on YouTube or Twitter. Ludwig, you saved my life. No, I didn't save your life. What do you mean I saved your life? I've been playing Pokemon and Among Us in Minecraft. Where in that journey did I save your life? Did I pick up a scalpel and take out a cancerous lump? No. All I did was play games, and you used me as a distraction to maybe get through a bad period or whatever it was. But you did it. You used me. You could have used anything. You could have used Taylor Swift's most recent album. You could have just used Jay Schlatt himself if you wanted. It could have been anything that you used. You just happened to have used me, and I promise.
Parasocial relationships
you also
are
would have
icky.
been fine. All right? So stop giving me the credit that you deserve for doing all the work. I don't know you. How can I save you? Come on, think about it. Think about it. Anyway, look, I just think it's worth saying, and I've never talked about this really on YouTube, but parasocial relationships can be a bit dangerous, which is why it's worth at least being cognizant that they exist in the first place. And maybe just reevaluating your interests in things, you know, and your real life relationships.
You're just sad that they
all
made you
those
laugh
little
at.
things that make your life better, instead of working on relationships with people that you're never really going to hang out with and that can't care about you. Not just don't, literally cannot. Whether it's me, whether it's Dream, or whether it's Ariana Grande. It scales, but it's all the exact same. Doesn't matter how many times Ariana Grande tweets I love you, she doesn't love you. She cannot love you. She will never love you. She only loves the entire group of people who let her do what she loves to do, which isn't the same as loving you. Get it? Anyway, boys, thought it was worth saying. Thought I'd make a little bit.
It was a good video. Yeah, to kind of sum that up, parasocial relationships, icky. There's a reason the term exists. I know that us streamers can feel like we're your friends, but at the end of the day, I'm sorry to say, we are not. You know, and kind of like Ludwig stated, there is no world that we will be able to hang out as friends do, and not that we don't want to, we physically cannot. You know what I mean? And again, this scales. This isn't just for like your 10,000 viewer streamer. Like, all streamers that you watch are there for your entertainment. That is it. Treat it like a TV show. The moment your TV show is not entertaining to you anymore, do you keep on watching that TV show? No. And as the streamer, you know, we don't get our feelings hurt by that either. If we stop being entertaining, if I stop being entertaining to you, go watch something else. That is what I am here for, is for entertainment, not to be your friend. And I know that sounds so harsh, but it is not a opinion that I solely echo. This is quite a popular opinion that's pretty much echoed across all streamers. So understood. Leaves. No, it was actually super interesting, Plasmatic, is they mentioned a term symbiotic, and I thought that was really cool because there's also a different level. And I even mentioned like you and Novus and kind of like other homies like Goof and all that stream as well, is when you have people that are kind of like on this same grind, right? And where we have a mutual goal kind of type of a thing. You know, it's more of like a symbiotic relationship that we have where we all kind of grow better together type of vibe. So it's kind of nice. But yeah, earlier we watched A Life of Duduo. It was kind of hard. And then we watched Pokemon is About to Change Forever. So this was pretty hard too. I really liked this. Pokemon Champions coming out. So excited for this. We gotta time you out, brother. You're getting a little bit too spicy. And remember, parasocial relationships, my dog. We streamers aren't your friends. We're here for entertainment. We gotta keep the stream entertaining. I might have to replace an M with an N there somewhere. But yeah, dude, don't take it personal. We gotta keep the vibes chill. I'm here for entertaining, and if you're going to start to ruin the entertainment, then we gotta nip that in the bud. Alright, well, I think we did some good React Andes. I really liked that Pokemon stuff. Oh my gosh. Plaz, I wish you were here to see the fucking Pokemon clips. Oh, there was this creepy one with the fucking Genghis-Khan, and the Cubone came out of its, like, pouch pussy. I swear to God, it was the grossest fucking thing ever. Oh.
What?
I know. I'll have to show you the clip later, but there was, like, a realistic Pokemon animation, and they did one for Cubone, and I guess, like, the lore for Cubone is it's the skull, that, you know how Cubone has a little skull? That's its mother's skull, apparently. And it wears its mother's skull. But they did, like, I think it's a Genghis Khan. I don't know if it's a Genghis Khan in the lore. But you know how Genghis Khan has, like, a horizontal cute little kangaroo patch? No, they gave it, like, a pocket pussy for its belly button. And when the fucking Cubone came out, it, like, birthed out of the pocket pussy. And I'm like, it was, like, supposed to be, like, a horror animation. But I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. So gross. Oh my god, Plasmatic saw it. Pokemon Dark. Yeah, like what the fuck? It was so creepy. It was
unnerving.
Yeah. You want to do some ARAMs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually just put a pot on the boil.
Should I do another video to react to?
Yes.
Okay. Pokemon After Dark. Yes. We could do another video to react to, guys. But we'll do some ARAMs with Loken and maybe Anguish too if you want to play. But she's making some food real quick, so let me see. I need to do the window capture once again. Hold on. Bop. I think there we go. All right. What else did we want to react to, huh? Gotta go get some pizza in my belly for sure, Plaz. We'll catch you in a bit. What else do we want to react to? I mean, we could look up. I also wanted to look up another thing. Hold on. Yeah, this is what we watched. It was The Life of a Duduo. Gonna lurk and chill. I'll be around for a bit, though. For sure, Plaz. I was also starting to watch this Severance fucking ending explaining, but I got too deep. It got too deep. Now, let's check out. Does he have more of these? Oh! Shut up. There's more. No. This was the most recent one. But what? Life of a Wailord, 2.5 million? Life of a Magikarp? I don't know. Let's try. Watch all of them. Okay. Let's start then. Fuck it. We'll start with the very beginning. So this is just a Blender test animation. This was the beginning of it. I like to see where people started. This is cute. Dude, I watched the Duduo one already, he's come a far way. Like this is amazing, and it just gets so much better. Okay, maybe not that part though. It's alright though. This was the test animation. This was them just feeling it out. Okay. Pokey Earth, the trailer.
In a world where untamed wilderness and extraordinary creatures collide, get ready for an adventure like no other.
Dude, it gets better than this, I promise. The Doodle won't let fire.
Experience the untold stories of the delicate balance between Pokemon.
You know,
and their
even at this level though,
environments.
this feels like something that Pokemon would put out.
Welcome.
Yeah, like what the fuck is this? Doodoo do not fly. That is not real. Oh shit, the Doodoo flying does crack me the fuck up every time. Holy shit. Alright, let's check out Magikarp.
A little further west of Kanto lies a forest enclave hidden from human interference. The area is home
Little
to species not
Surskits.
commonly found in the surrounding region. Within the enclave, the tranquil months are a critical time for the life cycle of one particular
No, the
Pokemon.
Magikarp's gonna eat it? Oh, it's dumb, it can't.
Magikarp.
I wanna see how a Magikarp lives. Aren't they like really
A
fucking
large number of
stupid?
them are gathering for the toughest challenge of their lives. Returning from their ocean migration, Magikarp prepare themselves to move upstream to evolve and lay
I
their
feel like
eggs.
Magikarp
Because
are
their eggs are
Pokemon's
so
version of
vulnerable,
our
They can only
pandas.
survive in the shallow, still waters high up in the mountains.
Did you guys know that pandas would die without humans?
Raised
That's how
water
stupid they
levels
are.
present the best
Like
chance
go
to
extinct,
reach
I
their
mean. They would go
spawning grounds.
extinct without humans.
But this is going to be the end of the road for a lot of Magikarp.
Dude, the Ursaring looked plushy. I would want to hug one. And probably die after, but...
Ursaring from across the regions gather here for this moment, lying in wait for the Magikarp to make their move. The longer the fish take on their journey, the weaker they become. While the falls may be modest in height, the predators hold the high ground.
Oh? Are they gonna show
Despite
Pokemon
their
get fucking
reputation as
killed?
the world's most pathetic Pokemon, Magikarp possess an incredible ability to leap up to 7 feet in the air. Although useless in conventional battles, it's the perfect skill for their journey. The fish perform short leaps into the air to see where the bears are.
Look for shinies. I'm looking. Oh? Why are the Ursaring so lazy? Are they just vibing? You saw one already? Okay, I'll keep an eye out. It'd be gold, right?
But they don't always get it right.
Oh!
Despite consisting mostly of scales and bones,
You care about the
Magikarp are a
Oscars at all?
favorite
It's
snack
tonight. It should be
amongst
silly
Ursaring.
good time with... No, I don't care about the Oscars at all. But you said Conan is hosting? Conan O'Brien? Dude, I fucking love Conan. I'm not even memeing right now. I genuinely fucking love Conan. No way. Okay, I might check out some clips. Dude, I fucking love Conan. Can we live react to the Oscars? Oh, it's 5 a.m. I'm not kidding. I forgot that I have such crazy fucking stream schedule. It's 5 a.m. for me. Are we allowed to stream the Oscars on Twitch? Dude, if we can stream the Oscars on Twitch, I might be down. I might be downsies. You can? I might be down. If you can do that. It's reformative, I think. What does that mean? I mean, I know what reformative means, but what does it mean in the sense of reaction is reform? Oh, right. No, I get what you mean. Like it should avoid copyright because we're still reacting to the Oscars, and it would be technically called reformative content, not like copyright content. I get what you mean. Yeah. I don't know, right? I watch the Grammys with the streamer. Okay, bet. Say less. I just know, for example, Plasmatic, like we can't watch anime on Twitch. Like I'll get copyright struck and the stream will get taken down. Like even if I'm a baby ass streamer. But if we don't get nothing for the Oscars, I'm down for it. Like you mentioned, I don't care about the Oscars at all, but fucking Conan O'Brien, I genuinely love him. Dude, I watch all of fucking Conan's skits on fucking YouTube. Team Coco all the way. Yeah. Also, what are they gonna lose? True. That's what I'm saying is, like, if you try to stream anime, it'll just, like, you'll get flagged. Or, like, a TV show, for example, and stuff like that. Even if you're just, like, reacting to it, I think. I know pretty much all YouTube content you could react to. It's not an issue.
But bears aren't the only danger to look out for. Once airborne, Magikarp make easy prey for any birds that happen to pass by.
Pidgeotto just got one. Alright, I'm keeping an eye out for shinies again.
Lurking just above the surface, the fish hesitate at the foot of the falls.
Is one gonna evolve into a
Eventually,
Gyarados like
they have to
mid-jump?
take the leap, regardless of the danger.
Yoink. Chomp it, chomp it. I want to see blood. Damn it. Sorry, my intrusive thoughts definitely got vocalized there. It's so cute when they catch him. I guess Ursaring are cute in Teddy Ursa form. You think some of them keep that cuteness, or they're always just all mean?
But numbers are on their side. For every Magikarp caught, a handful of them make it past the bears. Only a lucky few will survive to evolve and spawn the next generation of Magikarp.
Oh, that one's cute. Vita brother. That's too much, my mans. You gotta chill with that completely. Alright, let's check the next one. Jesus. Too much, my guy. Too much. Gotta chill with that. Alright, let's check out this Life of a Spheal.
As the world turns and the rising sun strengthens, ice that once covered the glacial waters begins to break apart. The splintering ice becomes a fleet of rafts that are the perfect place for Walrein to raise their young. A Spheal. At just 1 week old, he has little fat. And the only protection he has from the cold is a set of double-layered fur. Due to their unique body shape, Spheal often have a hard time moving about.
Dude, the animation has definitely already improved.
It's not easy getting where you want by rolling around.
Aw, it's so cute.
Mum should be around here somewhere.
Look at the little fuzzies.
Like all toddlers, this Spheal knows exactly how to get his mother's attention. During the nursing period, Spheal feed from their mothers. The milk, which contains over 70% fat, will help him develop a thick layer of blubber that will improve his chances of survival against winter's deadly grip. Drinking this, Spheal will gain roughly 5 kilograms a day. In just another week, he'll look like this chubby fellow. These two brothers are eager to explore on their own. However, their curiosity often lands them in trouble.
Oh, they're so fucking
Before they
cute.
can get back onto the mainland, it becomes clear that this patch of ice has a mind of its own. These siblings are still too young to swim, and this newfound isolation can prove to be very dangerous. A blizzard quickly approaches.
Dude, this one is brutal
Without the
though.
protection of their mother,
It's taking quite a
it
turn.
won't be long before
Yeah,
the
like
storm claims its
these poor
first
little
victim.
dudes. Yeah, I want a plushie of them so bad.
Whether by instinct or through sheer luck, the Avalug appears to have taken a sudden detour.
I swear this was stop motion if it wasn't so smooth because the plushies look so real. I know. That's how I was feeling with the Ursa rings. I wanted to fucking squeeze them too. I'm telling you, his animation, this dude's style is getting better and better with every video.
Not all wild Sfeel can be as fortunate. Nearly 50%
It's so
of all
cute.
pups will not survive to adulthood.
That is sad. Oh, it's so adorable. Look at it do a little turn. Oh. Okay, next one. We got 3 more. The Whale Lord one has 2.5. What is this? Oh, we don't have to watch this one. This one's just a compilation. Okay.
Waylord.
Good thing none of them exist, and so they will never
With a
have to
body
live with the
length of
crippling
over
weight of
40
survival.
meters, it is the largest
I'd like to
creature
imagine in
native
some
to
type
our
of
planet.
multiverse they do.
Its heart is the size of a Snorlax, and some of its blood vessels are so wide that a war turtle could swim down them. Waylord
Dude, these
travel
things
in
are supposedly
pods,
fucking massive.
migrating across
And
great
airless,
expanses of
weightless,
open ocean.
one of the two.
From
Not
their
completely
breeding
weightless, but they
grounds
weigh
off the
like barely
northern
fucking
coast of
nothing.
Sinnoh to the Alolan Sea, where they feed. Despite their popularity amongst sightseers, Waylord have not always enjoyed the people's admiration. In the last century, Alolan fishermen frequently drove Waylord from their feeding grounds, due to fear that their pods would eat too many of the area's fish. Some desperate fishermen
at the
even
water.
organized large-scale hunting expeditions, which drove Waylord
The water looks
to
so
near
good that its tail is what ends up looking. Wait, is that real water?
But a focused anti-hunting campaign at the turn of the century finally led to the protection of
that water
Waylord
looks
in
crisp.
their ancestral habitats. Since then, their population has been steadily recovering.
I want to see a whale. What is it? A whalemer. I want to see a whalemer.
These
Oh, look at the Lapras. What's that red thing on it? Is it a Magikarp?
To feed on a seasonal abundance of wishy-washy, small aquatic creatures that account for up to 65%.
What does a shiny
of all
Whalelord look like?
deep-sea
I don't think I've
fish
ever seen one.
biomass. Capable of diving to depths of up to 3,000 meters, Waylord use their massive bodies to guide schools of wishy-washy towards the water's surface.
Look at the little wishy-washies. Oh my fucking god, there's a lot of them.
But the wishy-washy are not completely defenseless.
Are they going to turn
The
into...
sheer scale of the fishbowl daunts most predators. And combined with their glowing eyes, they send SOS signals, which can be seen almost 40 kilometers
I'm gonna be
away.
honest, if I saw that shit in real life, I would shit my pants. I have such bad
Now they
thalassophobia.
must wait for whatever comes.
I would just die from anxiety.
The Waylord need to act quickly before the Wishy-Washy have a chance to organize into a more dangerous form.
Wait, this has me on the fucking edge of my seat right now.
By
Do they eat them?
performing great splashes, the synchronized movements of the Wishy-Washy become disrupted.
Oh, that actually looks really fucking cool.
Now is their chance.
Oh.
The Waylord's vast mouths trap great
Look at the little
volumes
butt.
of water, gulping down
This
the
is a real thing
Wishy-Washy
that whales
in an
do?
instant.
That's badass.
This particular female has failed to eat her fill. Soon, her body will be so light that it will become less dense than the air surrounding her. As a result, she will begin to float.
Oh! Oh! Do Wailords do that in real Pokemon lore?
No one knows the
Now I
exact
want you to say this is a
fate
real
of
thing that
these
whales do.
boiling Wailord. Once a common occurrence, protected sanctuaries
Yo!
near Akala Island have reduced this size
No, this part's
dramatically.
fake, like the fucking Doduos flying. Okay, now I have to figure out, can fucking Wailords fly? Can Wailord do... Float, I guess is... No, fly. Is Wailord a blimp? Yeah, are they a blimp? Biology. No, they add that shit in. At the end of every single one of those videos is like some wild shit that he just thinks would be fucking cool if the Pokemon did that. I'm not mad about it. I'm just, that like fucking is so cool. Oh shit. Just to mess with you. Keeps you on your toes. Alright, we'll watch this one. This was the most recent one, 2 days ago.
The Asado Desert, dry and barren.
I saw the shiny in this one already.
Some call this place home, from high up in the sky to those just beneath the sand. But not all find this arid place hospitable.
Is this a real narrator? It sounds good if it's AI. I don't know. It's very David Attenborough-esque. It's fire.
Doduo, on their annual
It's real?
migration towards land with a more temperate climate.
Fuck yeah.
Unlike other birds, Doduo rely mainly on their strong, developed legs to run great
I'm an OG fan,
distances,
for real.
reserving their
Ooh,
ability to
okay,
fly
okay.
for only times of dire need.
Look, there was the shiny. Sorry, we missed it. There it is again,
Despite
right
their
here.
impressive legs, traveling across
Look
the
at that little
vast
fucker.
desert is no easy feat. A young Doduo
Look at it.
can often wander too far too quickly, separating themselves from the flock.
Oh. Oh, little dude.
Something in the distance has caught his attention. Perhaps a patch
The little
of
runt.
greenery?
Yeah, even comparing this to like the Ursaring,
It
I
looks
feel
like
like he's gotten it
curiosity
down.
has gotten
He's gotten
the
it
better of
fucking
him.
down.
The other head, still resting from the long
Puck
journey,
was dead.
is along for the ride. After days of eating nothing but dry grass, any chance to change his diet is highly tempting.
Oh my gosh, wait.
It's just a group of Cacnea.
Plaz, we were talking about Severance,
They
weren't
aren't
we?
worth the trouble.
After this,
Now
after this.
awake
Let's
from
not
slumber,
jump ships
the
just
other
yet.
head
Hold on,
realizes
hold on,
that
hold
they're
on,
no
hold on.
longer with the flock.
Let's slow down.
Unsurprisingly,
Let's slow down. Let's
he's
finish
quite
this up. This is the
frustrated.
last one.
But a lone Doduo has caught the attention of others. Sandile specialize in ambush tactics and eat almost
Sneaky
anything that
Sandile.
collapses in the desert. Still, there's not much food to scavenge in these parts. Desperate for a meal, a single Doju.
Which head is the Any? Which head's the Audi? The one that just woke up was definitely the Audi.
He knows there is
Woke
little
up, he's like, what
chance
the
to
fuck's
bring
my
down
Any
such
doing over here?
large prey on his own. After all, Dojuo's deadly kick and exceptional speed make them a difficult target for any predator. However, he doesn't need to hunt
They've
alone.
reintegrated.
With the element of surprise, the two of them together might stand a chance. The Dojuo, so
The Sandile looks
is unaware
sweet
of
too,
any
though.
danger.
I want to see more Pokemon. This dude's cooking.
By submerging themselves in sand, they have set up a very effective ambush site. But they still need to be careful. With two heads, Dojuo are keenly aware of any potential threats. The Sandile duo remains still, waiting for the
the sand looks
perfect
nice.
moment to strike.
Like it's even got like the camera shake, like it's an actual documentary. Oh, it's so cute.
With a leg injured, the Dojuo can no longer flee on foot.
I love you.
But he has one last resort.
Oh my god, this part. Look at this shit. Oh my god, if Doduo
Now
could do
free
that in
from the
Pokemon, I
deadly
would fucking
encounter,
love that.
He lets out a well-deserved victory
I love that it
cry.
uses its head.
Right. Oh my god. Alright, alright. Severance!
Yeah.
We're about to watch a video. It's perfect. We can, while we eat, we'll react to it.
Okay.
It's a video on the most recent episode of Severance.
Okay.
Oh, because I know Cole watches it too. Yeah, I'm plasmatic. Oh, all right. I didn't watch this one. I like started watching it. I was like, no. I wanted to watch this on my own time, but now we're gonna watch this shit on stream. Where the fuck's my history? Up right here, right
The
here.
memories that we got to experience. So I don't know
Yeah.
whether to be petrified of the fact that we.
Who's that below Ludwig on the left? Dude, this is my... I hear this guy is so fucking cool. I just found this guy, guys. Fucking plasmatic. Oh my god. Like, dude's fucking fire. I love this shit. I watch this dude's videos all the fucking time. We actually gotta start going through your videos when I get a chance. You got some cooking too. Ooh. Yeah. I need to make real videos. They're all VODs. Dude, that Minecraft one I sent you is my only one that I've ever edited. Like, actually edited. Even on the main channel, those other ones before are like VODs that are just snipped to be a little bit shorter. But yeah, I gotta get to editing some videos too. You'll kind of see the editing style that I have with the Minecraft video. And that was, like I said, it was the very first time I've edited. I did that shit on CapCut. So you can literally see through the 30 minutes, like the change in style as you can literally see me learning to edit better through that one video. It's kind of funny. But yeah, that one took me like fucking days, like I think 10 hours of real time just fucking editing. It's so much work. So much work. Oh, sorry, what were we looking at now? Where was it? This.
The fact that we finally.
17 minutes? Yeah, this will be perfect. All right, what we might try to do here, let me test some things. You guys have to let me know if you hear an echo.
Way, or to just take. So I don't know whether to be petrified of the fact that we finally saw what was at the other end of the exit.
Is the mic picking up an echo of this? I don't think so.
Take a moment and wipe away the tears in my eyes after that ending.
It is?
Because this was hands down the most beautiful episode that the show's produced.
Very slight. Yeah, it's because I got that. I had to have that bitch so loud. I think we can circumvent this.
That shot of Gemma's eyes at the end of the episode, when Devon asked where Mark went.
How about now?
And it also mirroring what the nurse said to Gemma during the beginning of the episode, when she also said, Gemma, where did you go? it just made my stomach drop. With an episode that gave us a look into the relationship that's been at the epicenter of the show and the burning love, passion, yet also pain and heartbreak that we saw between Mark and Gemma, who just seemed made for each other. The memories that we got to experience through both of them was just perfect. With hints as to what Cold Harbor could be and us seeing rooms where different personalities and experiences were being adopted, let's dive headfirst into the episode and discuss all things Severance Season 2 Episode 7. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers.
Yeah, it's weird.
The meaning of the episode title. So, I don't know whether to be petrified of the fact that we finally saw what was at the other end of the exports hallway.
Honestly, I know how to fix this, guys. I know how to fix this directly. Let's do this, hold on. I'm gonna make it loud so I can hear it, but we're just gonna mute the mic, and then I'll unmute the mic if I'm gonna say some crazy shit. So let me see, make sure it's pretty loud for you
I don't know
guys.
whether to be
Oh, hold on. Let me actually mute the mic right now so you guys can hear it without the mic picking it up.
Petrified of the fact that we finally saw what was at the other end of the exports hallway, or to just take a moment and wipe away the tears in my eyes after that ending, because this was hands down the most beautiful episode that the show's produced. That shot of Gemma's eyes at the end of the episode.
Yeah, and that way we don't need captions either, because Loken's gonna watch with me too, and that way we'll be able to just fucking like hear it ourselves. You guys can hear it perfectly fine, and then when we want to chime in, we'll just pause it and unmute. Be perfect. It'll be perfecto. All right. Alrighty, then we'll do this. What are we at? 25-minute pre-roll right now. Loken's about to finish up the food. Why don't we do this, fellas? We're gonna do like a 1 to 2 minute break real quick. Go grab your snackies, go grab your drinks. If you guys gotta go do something, go pee, go say hi to your parents, go say hi to your roommates, go kiss them on the face. Mwah! Just like that, and then we'll be back. We're gonna watch this. It's about 17 minutes, so do this. And then probably after this, we'll do some ARAMs. But for now, stay tuned. We got this coming up. I'll also change the title too as it's BRB'd, but yeah, that'll work perfect. See you guys in a bit. Alright. We're about set up. Guys, look at the fucking food that Loken made. I don't know if I could show it without spilling it. Look at that. There's pasta underneath. She made homemade garlic bread, homemade pasta. Like, oh. Okay. Whoops. We're not starting soon. We're already live. Alright, let's do this. Severance season 2, episode 7, ending explained. There's like a whole thing though. So it looks like we get a little bit of an intro, the meaning of Chikai Bardo, because that was the name of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed that, and I was like, what does that mean?
They
Like,
said it once, I think.
but this guy will probably go over it, so we'll be able to figure that out too. What is in exports? So all those rooms that she kept on going into. Interesting. And then is Mark now fully reintegrated at the end of this episode? Good questions. Oh, this is gonna be fucking spicy. I'm so excited. It's like the self fighting itself, the death of ego. Oh, what this means. Chikai Bardo. Ooh, okay,
I remember
okay.
them talking about it.
All right, let's just jump in, guys.
So, I don't know whether to be petrified of the fact that we finally saw what was at the other end of the exports hallway, or to just take a moment and wipe away the tears in my eyes after that ending, because this was hands down the most beautiful episode that the show's produced. That shot of Gemma's eyes at the end of the episode when Devon asked where Mark went, and it also mirroring what the nurse said to Gemma during the beginning of the episode when she also said, "Gemma, where did you go?" It just made my stomach drop. With an episode that gave us a look into the relationship that's been at the epicenter of the show and the burning love, passion, yet also pain and heartbreak that we saw between Mark and Gemma, who just seemed made for each other. The memories that we got to experience through both of them was just perfect. With hints as to what Cold Harbor could be and us seeing rooms where different personalities and experiences were being adopted. Let's dive headfirst into the episode and discuss all things Severance Season 2 Episode 7. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The meaning of the episode title. Chikai Bardo was the title of this week's episode, and whilst it was briefly addressed during the runtime when Gemma was completing a task that was sent to her in the mail from the fertility clinic, one which we saw actually had Dr. Mauer there, and also the Lumen logo on the top of the document, it was described completing a task that was sent to her in the mail from the fertility clinic, one which we saw actually had Dr. Mauer there, and also
Yo, that's the fucking doctor from the export rooms. Her dentist.
Remember Wellington?
Yeah. Remember when she goes into the dentist room and the dentist is like, "Oh, it's been 6 months." She's, "I've been here yesterday," or whatever. That's the same fucking guy. Oh my god. Okay.
the Lumen logo on the top of the document. It was described here by Gemma as the same person fighting ego death. However, I feel it actually goes a lot deeper than that. Chikai Bardo is one of the 6 traditional Bardo states in the Tibetan Book of Death, and this one specifically is the 4th in total, but the first of the death phase. It's said to be the stage that people enter between life and death, and it can be said to bring people clarity and the clear light of reality. Something that it feels like was at the core of this episode, whether that be for Mark, Gemma, or the both of them. Both of these characters were kind of in a sense of purgatory, or at least a state where they were neither living nor dying. Mark with the fact that he was passed out due to the reintegration process being leveled up, and also Gemma because she was trapped inside of Lumen down the exports hallway and had no way of being able to get outside and back to living her life. All they both had in that moment was this state of being stuck. With the clear light of reality being a focus at the core of the Chikai Bardo, I think Mark having these newfound memories at the forefront of his mind and the Innie having them too. If the reintegration process was as successful as it should have been, I think we're going to see a different behavior in the character moving forward. The importance of the memories and flashbacks. Honestly, the memories in this episode could be some of my favourite moments from the entirety of the show. Whether it be the way that they were constructed, the style that they had with the grain and its representation of the rawness of the real world compared to inside of Lumen, and just the all-round emotion of love, passion, happiness and togetherness that was at the heart of it, something that I think is linked with Cold Harbor, but we'll talk about why it was so good in a bit. The importance of the scenes is what I want to discuss here. What was important about these flashbacks was that we got to see the relationship of both Mark and Gemma over the course of them meeting each other for the first time several years ago, right up until Mark was met with the police at his doorstep on the night where he was told that Gemma had died in a car crash. But there was a specific moment within it where Gemma had signed her life away and she didn't even realize it. It was after Mark and her had tried for a baby and them sadly losing it, which led them to sign up to a fertility clinic, which seemed to be the very moment that Gemma was plucked out of regular life and when Lumen were able to reach out to her. For example, at around the 21-minute point of the episode, we saw Mark and Gemma walk into the clinic for the first time, and the evil Dr. Mauer was even there, and he actually looked over at her out of the corner of his eye, showing that there was that instant intrigue. Whilst Gemma was there, she filled out some paperwork with her details, which I believe is most likely the way in which Lumen were able to identify her and contact her. And as well as that, she was also receiving these tasks in the mail that she didn't know how she got on the mailing list for. But I suppose it was through that where Lumen identified her as the person that they wanted for their work. This is something that adds an even deeper and darker layer to that of Lumen, because it showed that they were prepared to target somebody that was grieving the loss of their unborn child and was also in a vulnerable state because they were looking for alternative methods.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Because at first we were trying to figure out, like, why Mark, why Gemma, like, why do they matter? But it's kind of like, I think we were kind of closing in on that when we last talked about it, where they just saw somebody who had the perfect...
They fit what they needed for their experiment. And they were looking for a certain criteria, and they're in a place where they can literally comb through people because they're getting people's personal data, like very personal data. They can comb through and find exactly who they want for their experiment.
Exactly. And then that's just all Gemma ended up being, was you fit the bill perfectly.
Yeah,
so that's why.
They just fit the bill.
Oh.
Yep.
To conceive a child. And it was through that filtering where they found Gemma and started keeping her prisoner within the walls of Lumen, whilst making out to the outside world that she died. These tests that she was getting mailed and sent back must have been some kind of criteria that she passed through, which made Lumen decide that it was her that they wanted. These memories and flashbacks that were occurring were happening for both Mark and Gemma, and not only did it provide clarity to us on the state of their relationship and how they were with one another, but it also showed that they were both experiencing these memories and that they were both still inside of the shells that were their bodies, despite being in a different state. The episode opened with the nurse saying, "Gemma, where did you go?" as she was thinking about Mark and their time together on the outside. And the episode concluded with Devon saying, "Mark, where did you go?" when he awoke, wiped a tear away from his face, and had been thinking about his wife, having the exact same memories playing within his head. It was beautiful from start to finish, and these memories being shown to us served multiple different functions, but the connection that they have with one another is something that I think is key to Cold Harbor. This wasn't only the origin of when Mark met Gemma and when their love story blossomed, but it was also the origin of when Lumen met Gemma, something that is obviously extremely important, arguably more important than when she met Mark in the context of the show. What is in exports? The level below the exports hallway was dark, mysterious, and probably the most scary place that we've seen in the entirety of the Lumen building. Within this episode, we finally saw the identity of the person that was collecting the dentistry equipment in episode 5, and it was Dr. Mauer, an individual who seemed to be appearing in many different rooms on that floor and adopting different personas, kind of like how Gemma was, but without his mind actually being taken over. We saw that Gemma was having blood taken from her and that she was...
Do you think that the doctor is an Egan?
I don't know. I didn't realize it was all him.
Yeah.
I thought that it was because I was like, man, this guy looks familiar. Like all the different characters he was playing, I didn't quite put it together that they were all the same person.
Yeah, like this one, for example. Which one was it? This one, I didn't realize that was him.
No, I was like, he looks so familiar. I feel like he's in other scenes, but like I don't remember him before. And they're like talking to him like they know him.
Yeah.
You know, so I was a little confused, but that makes a lot of sense. He's like obsessed with her.
Yeah, weirdly obsessed. I think that's a fake beard. Not sure why he feels the need to look different. I know, because it's not like she's going to remember Gemma. It almost feels like, and hear me out, fellas.
Role-playing.
Yes. I almost feel like this is this dude's twisted fantasy,
Yeah.
and he's using Gemma in all of these weird scenarios that he wants to live.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's why I feel like the Doctor, which is also still him on the outside, it could also just I don't know. This is fucking wild. Since her innies shouldn't be connected, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So weird.
Rooms on that floor and adopting different personas, kind of like how Gemma was, but without his mind actually being taken over. We saw that Gemma was having blood taken from her and that she was tasked with going into 6 different rooms during the day where she had to put on a different outfit for each of them, and Lumen were watching the events unfold and recording the data. I'm guessing that maybe the personality that she'd adopt would be because it would mirror the data in the projects that MDR were completing. It would change whenever she'd go in the room. For example, whether it be a trip to the dentist, experiencing a plane going through extreme turbulence and looking like it was on the cusp of crashing, and even playing Happy Families around Christmas time and writing a letter with her non-dominant hand, as we know from when she filled out the form earlier on. Plus, we did also hear from Mark that she didn't like writing thank you letters, but there she was doing one. Gemma would ultimately feel the repercussions of what happened when back in her own mind, such as a sore hand from writing or discomfort in her mouth from the dentist. This was because when she'd enter the room, it mirrored what happened when severed people went.
Sorry, this might just be the man in me thinking, but when they're pointing out that her mouth hurts and her hand hurts, but it's like the dentist and like her writing on a non-dominant hand, but then also makes me think of nefarious acts like blowjobs and hand jobs. Sorry.
It does.
Right? Like what if it is just this dude's twisted fucking fantasies and he's pretty much made Gemma a sex slave?
Basically.
But then there's also the thought of like maybe they are just super fucking creepy weird, but they're just running like the wildest experiments right now.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. I mean, it has those implications for what it could be used for at the very least. Yeah. Because, like, she comes out, it's like, oh, my hand hurts. Oh, my mouth hurts. And it's like, they also, like, doll her up whenever
Every
she goes.
time?
Yeah, it's like.
So weird.
Mm-hmm. This actress was actually in a show called Dollhouse, which is, like, how the dolls were used in Cyberpunk. Oh, my God.
Dang.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, let's see what they got to say here.
Went to the severed floor, and their innies would appear. However, with Gemma, there were many, many different versions of herself. There were actually a lot more than 6 rooms too that were on the floor, as there was a hallway that was full of them. Many of the rooms were actual places that existed in the real world, such as Rhodes, which is an island in Greece, Wellington.
Maybe not everyone can split as many times as she can, like severed wise. Like it seems like, oh, you can be severed to like go say like give birth, right? And it's like, okay, that's cool, but I'll use that 3 times in my life. So if you could then like have people be severed for all these different things.
I think you guys, Cole and you just hit it head on the fucking nail. That is exactly what they're fucking doing in there. They're using Gemma to see how many times they can split a mind. Mm-hmm. How many times you can sever parts of the mind.
Yeah.
So that's why they're testing her, and they keep on asking, like, how do you feel after this one? How did this one make you feel? Because they're trying to find the exact limit of how... She's a stress test. Exactly.
Yeah. She's like Voldemort.
Yeah.
Like splitting
with the Horcruxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically... They're making her into, like, all these Horcruxes. That's kind of fucked up.
Oh my God.
Is this like J.K. Rowling's way of telling us how a Horcrux is made and we never wanted to know?
This just built me another fucking theory. So you know how Helena is very clearly trying to have Mark's baby?
Yeah.
And my theory right now is the baby that Helena has, they're going to use that as like a fresh body to upload the original Egan into.
Okay.
But what if they're trying to make it so that they can put multiple founders instead of one body, but like fractured?
Yeah.
Like, oh, like right now the second founding Egan is taking over, and whenever the second founding Egan rests, then the first Egan personality takes over.
Oh gosh.
So they just have like
so many creepy ideas.
Yeah. So then you would pretty much have an immortal forever Egan, always awake and sentient at some point in time.
Creepy.
Yo, this is fucking wild.
Which is the capital of New Zealand, and Allentown, which is a city in Pennsylvania. These rooms all correlated with folders that members of MDR had previously worked on when refining data. However, with Cold Harbor only being 96% complete, that was the room that we heard Gemma say that was the only one that she'd never been in. This is most likely because Mark hadn't completed it yet. Gemma asked if she'd see Mark once she'd go in there, and Dr. Mao responded by saying, "You'll see the world again, and the world will see you." Something which was rather ominous and made no sense for Gemma. With the memories that we saw being at the epicenter of the episode, and Mark obviously being vital to the completion of Cold Harbor, I wonder if the Cold Harbor room could be one that's focused around something to do with children of some kind. Rooms seem to mirror environments and experiences, and we both know that Mark and Gemma experienced the loss of a child during pregnancy, and Lumen were also operating as a fertility clinic in order to get people that had experienced that specific pain, loss, and suffering of not being able to conceive a child. So I wonder if it's going to have something to do with that, and that's why both Mark and Gemma are crucial to its completion. Drummond said that the completion of Cold Harbor would be the greatest achievement the planet had ever seen. So if it comes to creating life in ways that aren't necessarily natural, or if the whole life side of what Mark and Gemma were experiencing is somehow connected to this cloning program where Gemma is the subject of channeling all of the tempers, experiences, and emotions of the baseline clone, that could be the case, and it could also tie into what Dr. Mauer said when he mentioned that
4.
And there's 7 rooms, so that's interesting.
We'll look at this up real quick, because I was talking to Plasmatic about this, because he was wondering. It was Woe, Frolic, Dread, and Malice. And then what I thought was super interesting about this was, I mean, I saw this in a TikTok, so I can't take credit for it, but look at the name of the files whenever they put in the data. Woe, Frolic, Dread, Malice. It's just acronyms for them.
Yeah.
So that's why people are theorizing that the numbers, like how they can't tell what it is, they don't know exactly what they're looking for. But the theory right now is that they're mapping the human soul based off of the Egan founder's, what he thinks the 4 tempers are. He said he's boiled down a person's soul to these 4.
Yeah. It's
weird.
Yeah. Sadness, joy, fear, and anger.
Yeah. So that's why when she was initially trying to do the numbers, it's like, well, I don't know how to do this. And they're like, well, you'll just feel it. Like, that's why they're trying to figure out how to map the human soul based off of those. And that's why whenever they put the numbers in, it goes to one of those 4 categories, is because they had found one of those 4 traits.
So weird.
So weird.
the world would see her, because she'd be the first to test them all. It became clear to see in this episode that Dr. Mauer had, and it could also experiences and emotions of the baseline clone. That could be the case, and it could also tie into what Dr. Mauer said when he mentioned that the world would see her, because she'd be the first to test them all. It became clear to see in this episode that Dr. Mauer had taken a liking to Gemma and grew close with her over their time together, to the point where Drummond even picked up on it and said that he'd need to say goodbye to her when the project was complete, something which seemed to sadden him. The fact that the room which contained Gemma being his wife was the one which followed him speaking with Drummond was something that was rather fitting to the emotions that he was feeling. When the both of them were in Gemma's quarters together, we saw Dr. Mauer lied to Gemma and said that Mark had moved on and now had a daughter with somebody else because she'd been gone for a long time. I suppose that's the disorienting thing with Gemma. She doesn't truly know how long she's been there for because, for the most part, it's like her severance chip is splitting off into multiple different personalities and she doesn't know how long she's within each one. This was why she hit Dr. Mauer with the chair and she tried to escape. I'd say the fact that the song I'll Be Seeing You was playing in the background of this scene, it did make me think that she was going to be escaping and getting outside. However, as we saw, when she went up the elevator, her mind went to being the personality of Miss Casey and she was disorientated as to why she was there. Plus, as she was walking away, Mr. Milchick was blocking the exit and he made her go down the export's elevator. Meaning that when she awoke as Gemma again, she was in tears and was heartbroken that she was still there, crying and whimpering the word Mark. Honestly, it broke my heart. Both Mark and Gemma were in mourning when they woke up, and we saw that the most with the final shot of the episode with it fading between them and them also being opposite one another. Plus, with them both being on each other's minds and them being in tears, it showed that they were both experiencing the same feeling. We still don't truly know the answer as to what is actually going on in exports, and also what Coldharbour is. But I definitely think it's to do with the pain and loss that both Mark and Gemma experienced together, and how it could be vital in the creation of new life, or maybe even cloning. Or maybe it could be to do with the sheer amount of personalities that Gemma was able to adopt whilst in exports, and that it's something new that's going to be rolled out to the people. Either way, right now, it's just interesting to theorize. Outside of Gemma's involvement in exports, what was rather strange was that there was this mirrored version of MDR that almost mirrored the person that they were watching, such as Mark, Irving, Dylan, and Helly, and they were observing the other end of the screen that the person was on. This was something that
Yeah, this part was so unnerving.
It was so weird.
People are theorizing that the rooms are about overcoming negative emotions, and once you can overcome all those things, Coldharbour will be overcoming death itself. Interesting. Because that's what Coldharbour is each room obviously is some type of traumatic experience. So like that dentist room was somebody's traumatic dental experience or whatever, and they use those as like more traumatic experiences to try to test this, and they're waiting for Coldharbour, and the reason they're saying it's the most important is because they're trying to deal with the traumatic experience of losing a life. But they're trying to figure out if they can capitalize that to be able to create life.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or like clone perhaps or something. Yeah, it's so weird.
Probably connected to the fact that Lumen were always listening and watching over them. They had access to all of the cameras on the 7th floor, the exports hallway, and also the inside of the subject through the data that they had. Was Mark now fully reintegrated? All throughout this episode, we saw that Mark was in a state where he was just experiencing his memories following him being passed out after going through his reintegration. When he awoke, we know that all he had going around in his head whilst in that state were the memories of being with Gemma due to the tear that was in his eye, and the fact that he looked upset. We didn't find out if Mark had truly been reintegrated and if his Innie and Outies memories were blended together as one, but I'm going to predict that he has been. Considering that Reg Harvey was confident with the procedure and also seeing as though in the previous episode all of the realities were merging, I think now, moving forward, we're going to have a Mark that's completely aware of both the inside and the outside. During this episode, there was a slightly different title sequence to usual, and this one actually had the 2 different versions of Mark within it, and the Innie and Outies memories actually featuring as figures within it too. We also had the Innie and Outie looking like they were helping one another. So whilst we didn't explicitly find out if the reintegration was totally successful, I think this title sequence is a hint that we're going to be seeing a different kind of Mark moving forward, one that's equipped with a lot more information than what he once had. What I found particularly interesting,
I have a feeling that it's not full reintegration where he has now acquired both versions of himself into one. I think kind of like this guy's hinting at with the title sequence, I think both versions will now become fully aware of each other.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
I wonder if they'll just be able to access like memories and stuff from one another. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm curious. I think it might be where like the Audi version, when they're awake, will have full access to like everything that happened during any version and vice versa. It'll be like a flow of information between the two. And it won't necessarily be that he's become one person again, but he'll have just like the cut will be gone.
Yeah.
There will still be a dominant persona. I'm sure there will be, yeah, but
when his Innie or his Outie, yeah, there'll be a more dominant persona, but yeah. Thanks. I'm glad you liked that garlic bread.
Yeah, so good. I'm pulling. Sorry.
Oops, sorry. That was a bad timing.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Yeah, because kind of like Cole's mentioning, if there's going to be a dominant persona for sure, it's very clear that Innie Mark has a thing for Innie Helena.
Yeah, but I think he only feels that way because his Outie was very sure. For one, his Outie was very sure that his wife was dead. And 2, Helena Innie came onto him first, if you remember, with the kiss. Yeah. So I think that Innie Mark would have never gone for her if it wasn't instigated, and if Outie Mark hadn't originally felt like he had no love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Super interesting stuff. Alrighty. I have a question. What do you think happened to Gemma? Do you think she staged her death, was kidnapped, actually got in an accident? I think Lumen sold her on the idea and they faked her death. Oh, 100%. I think that's pretty much it. Loken was kind of hitting the head on the nail with that too, where,
she was kidnapped. She never died.
Well, I don't know if she was kidnapped, but I feel like one of the biggest points for it right now was that she couldn't have a baby. And they're kind of hinting that they were trying nonstop and trying to hit every avenue that they possibly could. And it was getting to the point where Gemma was very clearly felt she was out of options. Like, it got to the point where, like, I'm not going to be able to have a kid. We can't have a kid. And there's, like, a couple scenes where Mark kind of felt, I guess I wouldn't say annoyed about it, but it looked like Mark had come to terms with the fact that they were never going to have a kid anymore. And it felt like Gemma was still very torn about not being able to have a kid, rightfully so. I think, like you mentioned, Lumen approached her after already kind of like recording all this information about her over time, and they found this as like the perfect moment to strike. Additional theory on that, oh my god, I don't think they kidnapped her. I think that they tempted her with a deal that she couldn't turn down, and she took it. But we remember that Lumen has been involved every step of the way so far. They were there at the blood bank when they first met. They were there. Lumen was there when they went to get like counseling on having a baby. Lumen was there the whole way. What if Lumen made it so she couldn't have the baby?
That wouldn't be surprising.
Like, Lumen needed to create the criteria, the scenario of having someone in pure despair, and they thought a woman unable to have a child will be
in a happy
relationship would be the best despair. So every single time they initially went for checkups on the baby, the doctor was making sure that the baby was going to miscarriage.
Yeah.
And every single time afterwards, Lumen made sure that the baby was going to miscarriage every single time, so that Lumen could finally come and say, hey, fake your death, come with us, let us do these experiments, we promise we'll let you have a kid.
Interesting.
But it could be very much. She could have been kidnapped. They could have completely staged the death. Because we also have to remember, Mark said that he saw the body. But that still doesn't, like, remove the scenario of Gemma agreeing to go with Lumen and Lumen telling her, we're going to stage your death. You need to disappear for a while we do experiments. But we promise you that you and Mark will be able to have a kid after this.
Yeah.
And now...
we still don't know what they told either. We know that the police told Mark that she got in a car accident and he identified the body.
Yeah.
But we don't exactly know what he was told, and
we haven't seen the scene of him seeing the body either yet.
No, and we don't at all know what they've told her. Like, what deal they made with her.
Exactly.
We only know that she made a deal and she was supposed to get out, but now she's not.
Or if she made a deal. Because it could have been, like you said, where they have just been monitoring Gemma this entire time and found the perfect moment and then just straight kidnapped her.
Yeah.
And then just told Mark that, she died in a car accident. Yeah. You know, could be that too. But I have a feeling that, because they made it a point to show the Lumen logo every step of the way. Yeah, I think Lumen has had their fingers dipped in this from the very fucking beginning. I think Lumen sold her on an idea and they faked her death. I think her and Mark were being divided with the child thing. Yeah, that's what it started to feel like. Let me give you your paper back. Yeah, because it felt like Mark had start to come to terms with the fact that they weren't going to have a child. And again, Gemma wouldn't. And in her respect, has every right to feel that way too, because...
So if the body was badly burned, though, then it would be easy.
She was badly burned, though? Oh,
it would be easy for them to then
fake it. Yeah.
And just add, if she has a birthmark or she has something significant that he could identify.
He tells Dylan at the diner that they had to identify her badly burned body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all you would have to do is, and if you were already planning this, you would have a look-alike that's been badly burned.
Well, then it's pretty much confirmed that it's a fake body, but we're just trying to figure out now did they just kidnap her or did she agree to go with them in a temptation of a deal, Very interesting. Oh, interesting stuff. Okay, all right. Well, that was some good React Andes. We had about 2.5 hours of React Andy segments. I think we're big bean chilling on that for a second. We might crotate right on over to some good old League of Legends ARAMs. I also kept food break up there the whole time, but it's okay. It happens sometimes. We were technically eating when we were reacting to that, so it was technically a food break. We'll switch over some categories. Blesseth be thy soul. May the Lord relieve you of your sins, and may a sneeze never come your way again. You're welcome. Nick, hey, that's not free.
Did you want the phlegm in my mouth?
All right. Whenever she sneezes twice. Oh, Cole, stop. Stop. It's okay, though. We know Gemma's alive. Bless you.
Thank you. That was the third time.
Okay. Oh, shit. All right, hold on. I gotta switcheroo some things here. Whoops. Oh, my God. Stop that. Stop. I demand it. Drop.
Another one. My nose doesn't like something.
You know what?
I was looking at you, I was like, wait, are you looking at me?
Oh shit. Okay. Hold on. Oh fuck.
Blow my nose now.
I gotta turn on the music.